Welcome, one and all. Welcome to the Three Wise Men Tonight show here on the Will Stewart's THFC's Rants channel. Welcome, one and all. Today, I suppose everyone's heard the news about England. Get it out of the way. Get the elephant out of the house. Yep, they won. They won fantastically. Why are we interested? Because Kane. Super Kane. Right. To kick off the channel, I'm going to first of all go through our patrons. Give them a big shout out to the Williams Rangers. They're the patrons who have made really supporting this channel really a pleasure to really have them support this channel the way that they're supporting it. That's Spartan 7 Gaming, Wayne Bonner, Mama Coates, Celery Agent, AG, Gaguma, Tony Coe, Alex Burton, and Bob Spur from Spurs TV. Right, guys. What have we got today? Well, today, we've got Eugene in the house, and we've got Anthony in the house. How are you doing, guys?
Hello. Good to be here.
Hi. How are you guys?
Eugene, did you watch the football today?
I missed about 85 minutes of the England match. Overslept. And I woke up, right? And I switched on TV, and Kane scores with the header. I was like, wow.
That was the best bit.
Yeah, that was the best bit. And I was going, okay, what did I miss? Yeah.
Perfect time to wake up.
Perfect timing. Anthony, do they watch an awful lot of the soccer, the European Championship in America?
I would say those that are interested in the Prem and stuff like that. Yes, I had a lunch meeting with a friend today, and he had it on his work screen. So yes, I would say there are people that are trying to find ways to work and watch all at the same time.
Well, right now I'm going to have a little look in the chats to see who's come to have a little look, who's chatting away. I've got Jason Whale over here who's saying, please, people, we don't want another defensive manager. If we accept Nuno, we'll be back here in 12 months and we'll have ourselves to blame. Accepting mediocre manager. Hashtag no to Nuno. Make a stand before it's too late. We've done a lot of stands. We did protests. We did levy outs. We've done a number of things, and good luck with that hashtag. See what happens. Anyway, Spurs Asian TV, Eugene, that's you in it. Eugene, that's you saying hi everyone again. You got any more accounts? Obviously, everyone knows Mr. K. He's thanking everyone for turning up early, and those people that do turn up early, thank you very much, and please do turn up early. Write a comment and then come back later if you need to. But I do read those comments. They're absolutely fantastic comments to read up. And Jason Wells obviously giving us all a hello. Who else is there? Dermot Moyles. Hello, guys. Nice one, Dermot.
Hello.
Chris, as always. Chris, didn't you say you were going to come onto the show? You did? I'm pretty certain you did. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw the link into the chat, possibly halfway through the show, maybe even 45 minutes. Might even chuck in a bit early because it's you. And then we can start getting panel members coming on. Right now, I want to... Anyway, let's quickly go further down because I've got one over here. It says over here, the song sounds like Let Me Pee Myself.
All right.
I really like that song.
I did too.
Now,
I was jamming.
Wait, we have that.
No, wait. Now, you know what you've done, Jinty?
Yeah.
Every time I look at that, every time I'm going to hear that song, I'm going to hear the woman, this beautiful, sexy voice saying, "Let me pee myself." And you totally killed it. Jinty. I don't, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to drag Jinty out here to explain himself.
Let me pee myself.
Jinty.
Hi, Dale.
Oh my goodness.
Viewers, if you're wondering, this is Jinty, but otherwise known as Dale to some of the people around here. Dale, did you by any chance watch any footy today?
I have some family up. No, I have some family up from Glasgow, and one of them's from England originally, so we had to watch the game, and that was uncomfortable. When they scored.
It's coming home.
Listen, David Fisher.
Coming home.
David Fisher is saying hi all. Brian Daigle.
I know.
Right, Brian Daigle, people, if you're wondering where Brian Daigle is today, he had to have an injection in his arm. Probably for some rabies shot or something. Oh, it's a vaccine. Sorry, it's a vaccine. I thought it's a rabies shot. Right. But yeah, he's going to be recovering a little bit, and he's going to come onto the show in about 20 minutes or so. Okay, so don't worry. We're going to big him up there, Brian Daigle. And Jason, well, yes, it does. It certainly does. And Will Stewart's in the chat. Welcome, Will. He's responding to you. Maybe it is, he says. Maybe it is. And he's getting bigged up by people. And obviously, look, man, Brian D, I had my first shot on Monday. Rabies, you as well, huh?
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Okay. Second vaccine, he's already ahead of us. I haven't had my first one yet. Right. Right, so let's quickly just move on down to Mr. Edwardson. How are you, sir? How are you indeed? Paul Brown with an E. How are you doing, my man? Right, what's he saying? Are there any Germans on here that I can rub salt into? If you get some beef steak, you can marinate it with the salt, and then in a lovely mustard sandwich. Right, and AE, you're being seen. Chris is having a look, and of course, we all know we all know these jokes. Has it been 70 years or something in it? When was the war? I can't remember. I'm not that old.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which topic you served in that war, mate?
Right now, can anybody tell me? Is it? Oh, it's Amber Glass. Amber Glance. Amber Glance. 1334. Obviously not the year of your birth. Please tell me it's not. Right. I'm excited about Nuno.
Are you?
Are we? Look, I'm happy. If we get Nuno,
I'll be
signs
excited
tomorrow,
if we get a manager.
Look, I don't care. I don't care. Ginty could sign up. I don't care. I'll be happy. Just somebody, please. Because right now, I'm the laughing stock of everyone in East London, bro. Trust me. Hoping it's confirmed soon.
Well, did you see the news?
I don't have any hope. Anyone got any hope left?
Have you seen the news about that came out recently about Paratici?
Partici's in London.
Yeah, he's flying. Yeah,
Paratici. Yes,
he's flew into London to close this Nuno deal. Apparently, he's came in early.
Are you sure he just didn't come to London to shop in Harrods or something?
Oh, he wants to see that art gallery that Spurs.
Yeah.
Look, listen.
Oh, the one with the
here,
clown pictures? The one with the clown paintings?
Oh no, it's
the man's not here to confirm or deny.
It's all about footballs, by the way. The first exhibit. It's going to be sculptures and pictures about football. An actual football.
Stop. Is that true?
Yeah.
No. That is so embarrassing.
Guys, footy line.
Clearly wouldn't be trophies, though, because we've never seen any of them in years, you know?
Oh, my God.
I got a trophy.
That is
Anthony,
so bad. Anyway, yes.
Anthony, you know, this thing about the England thing, right? Yeah. It's just unfortunate that our show happened to be pretty much hours after the football match. And trust me, we would have a really fantastic show if England lost. But because they didn't, absolutely everyone's buzzing, got all this energy.
Yes.
And that kind of reminds me of what this show's about. It's about these moments that pop up.
Yes.
And, you know, they fill your heart with some form of happiness or gladness or euphoria.
Joy.
I quite like the juxtaposition.
I mean, these words are alien to me right now.
Yeah. For real. As it's like, in some ways, I mean, watching Harry Kane get that goal today felt so good. I want that for him so bad. You know what I mean? And to see him get that header, it goes in the back of the net. It makes me feel proud of Spurs again, because he's one of our own. And that's about the only thing to celebrate in the last, 60 some days it's been, in the last chaos of Super League, no Jose, finishing the season, still no manager. I'll take what I can get.
Well,
70 days.
70.
We get these joys, we get these moments. Ginty, your national side. It's not like
tread lightly.
It's not like going to be excited for the World Cup. But the thing is that regardless of which team you support, no matter what level it's at, there are going to come times maybe in a year or a season or a particular decade, where you do something, you beat your rival. And those moments get etched in stone inside your mind, because in those moments, men stand up.
Yeah.
And they become heroes. Okay? It's like you're watching your first ever derby, or you've got a new player and he just started and he's in his first ever derby, and the guy cracks in a goal, a bit like Danny Rose.
Yeah.
Right? And from that moment, you hardly knew anything about this guy. He just came into your team.
Yep.
He cracks in that goal, top right hand corner, bang. A moment of magic is made. And you remember that moment forever. And you associate that player with that particular moment, and he now becomes a poster on your wall. Okay? Like Kane is behind you.
Yeah.
Because he did those very nicely. Anthony, when you get those moments, and Dale, when you get those moments, does it ever inspire you to, like, you know, get a guitar out, get a piano out? Dale, does it ever inspire you to maybe make a meme or a picture or a graphic or, you know, some animation? I mean, how do you guys express yourself when you fill yourself with that type of joy? I mean, most of us jump up and down. But Anthony, I've seen you get a guitar out.
Oh, man.
And Dale, I've seen you get behind the keyboard of that computer, man, and your brain light speed, bro.
I don't know.
But
Man.
Dale,
I suppose you mean. Yeah.
You must have seen those moments with the national side somewhere, right? Because you know your national side has had many heroes in it.
Yeah.
And you know, you can't just sniff at their league. They do have some couple of champions in there that are going to Europe and could do quite well. But Anthony, you've got a club that's based in America as well, right?
Yes, I do.
So, and do you have moments that they do things like that as well? Magic
Well,
moments?
as you were saying that, I was just thinking about for the United States national team, men's national team, Ethan Horvath. He was the backup keeper. No, I didn't really know his name or know anything about him, but the guy subs in. It's into stoppage time. We're against Mexico, which is our largest North American rival, and he stops a PK in extra time, and we go on to win. And that was one of those moments where you're just like, you're staying up late. You're like, oh gosh, is this actually going to happen? And you are so proud. It's just filled with this, like, that guy is never going to forget this moment, and neither are we, But I'm definitely the kind of person that likes to sing a song, make up a chant. When Gareth Bale came back home, I was like, I made up a little Gareth Bale. I remember his big sale. He went off to Real Madrid, and we knew he'd never fail. When Zidane gave up his spot, Daniel Levy shot a shot, and he brought him back to Tottenham with a flight with Regulon. And I was just so excited. It's just in my chest.
Yep.
It just didn't turn out the way we wanted. But anyway, that day was.
Does anything turn out the way
good.
we want it as a Spurs fan?
Yeah. No.
Plucky Spurs.
We still have that hope, and we still sing our songs.
We still sing our song. I mean, one of the other forms that people like have these special moments or something funny happens, they go on the internet, they go on the Twitterverse, and you see like images and captions, memes, animations, and they seem to breed a life of their own. They seem to just suddenly come alive, and they seem to have captured the imagination of so many people and synchronized them all together to say, hey, that's exactly how I think. Dale, with your experiences in football, can you remember any sort of like major things that occurred on the internet in terms of trending that would have come out as a consequence of some football action or non-action?
I think definitely you do get those memes, and you always get like the banners of the ultras when they now go viral. But like for moments, so that's why we're back talking about moments. I think one that always stands out to me is back when we used to Celtic used to regularly get in the Champions League, and we sing "You Never Walk Alone," and there's a viral video that's got a few million views of it when we played Barcelona, and we do it better than Liverpool. We started it before Liverpool, and the fact is that you can hear 66,000 people in unison to the point where you can actually hear every word of the lyric. It's not drowned out by any noise, and it's just complete unison and complete flags waving. That always made like the hairs in the back of my neck stand up when you're just, especially when you're there. I've been there for like a home game once. I've never been to the Champions League. The Champions Leagues are always where they like, it's unbelievable. And like that, just to imagine, I don't know what it's like, man, just to be a player on the field and just be absolutely surrounded by that. And it's just like the fans that are supporting you, you know, and it's, and they sing, like it's so big that they actually stop the song about 3/4 of the way through, and you can actually just hear the fans singing it all in unison and all that stuff. And it's moments like that get put on YouTube for future fans who weren't there at the time. And like, you know, you'll have moments where like Dyer jumped in the stand. There's all these things that happen throughout time that are now captured on the internet so much better. And it's rather than just hearing what your dad said about that moment, you actually get to see it, you know, in four different angles and everything about it.
Do you think, Anthony, you're not in the stadium?
No.
Those moments of the fans breathing in the air on those particular moments, does it make a difference to you?
Oh, totally. I like, honestly, there's you talked about Jinty talked about the you know, the hairs on your arms like standing up and just getting those goosebumps or whatever. And for me, there's a particular sound that when anyone scores for Spurs, whether it's White Hart Lane or when we're at Wembley or at the new stadium, it's this like, I don't know how to describe it, but I'm telling you, on the other side of the screen, it's my people are screaming, and that energy comes through, and it's contagious. I'm in my living room, jumping up and shouting, trying not to wake up my wife because it's 7:30 in the morning. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's just it's a palpable experience there, and it's translating through the television, at least for me.
Yeah. Yid Kid, it's not coming home to America, unfortunately. Not anytime soon. Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's very selfish, but it's coming to the, you know, here.
It's coming to Rome.
Yeah, it's coming to that place from 66. Not 1066. Actually, it is 1066. It is coming to that place from 1066. Daz is in the house too. Right, I think what I've done is I've gone past an awful lot of comments which I didn't actually show. So I'm going to give them a little bit of breathing space right now. Apparently, Ryan Mason is the Levy's puppet.
I mean, we all know that.
I think Chris, done and dusted, in stone, mate. People out there going to be. Guess what? You look. I mean, one of the reasons why everyone's hoping for a new manager to come straight in right now, regardless of whether it's Nuno or not, is because we don't want Ryan Mason to be leading the people out when it comes to the pre-season. Poch turned around and told us that the pre-season was like fundamentally important for any season that you walk into. And the last season he was there, he goes, "This is the worst pre-season I've ever been in." Yeah. And that was it, pretty much last season for him. Then, we can't allow whichever manager to come in. We can't allow them to be such a back foot compared to the other competition. Yeah. So this is an important thing that Spurs has to get over the line. And whether people like Nuno, they don't like Nuno, man, he's better than Mason, for crying out loud. I'll guarantee you 1,000% he wouldn't have played Winks in the final.
Has he won anything? Right. He won anything
That's a good question. I can look it up.
Nuno?
Yeah. Like, no, before he came.
Well, look, there's an advantage. Look, Doherty wasn't one of their best players. Nuno mugged us off. But Linda Williams, he managed to get a tune out of Doherty. The only one that I know managed to get a tune out of him. So maybe give him a break. He might be able to do it. Might be able to turn people around. Who knows? Right? He can speak Portuguese, so, you know, Dyer's in his pocket. You know, there's going to be like mates right there. Yeah, you know, we also what happened with Jose.
We want Dyer's soul. Am I wrong?
Yes.
But Anthony, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Did you know, Dyer was quite prominent this season.
Yeah.
You know, because of the whole Jose thing. You know, there's very few people I can trust. I can trust him because he speaks Portuguese. Wow, that's all you need apparently.
Yeah.
He's a nice guy. He's very trusting. Speak the language, bang, he's your brother. Anthony, was there anything that kind of came out of this season about Dyer? Were there any ballads or
No.
that might have been sung about his, legendary feats throughout the year? Anything about his big head?
Not about his legendary feats, that's for sure. He's probably one of the reasons why I was singing "I Can't Smile and Watch You" at the same time, instead of "I Can't Smile Without You."
I'm gonna try to play that on this computer today.
Oh yeah, no worries.
Yeah? And if it kind of all messes up, right? Yeah, then I'll just I might disappear all of a sudden.
We can blame Dyer.
We can blame Dyer for sure.
We can blame Dyer, but if in doubt, blame him. If he's not around, blame Wicks. Dale.
Mm-hmm.
When somebody has like some chants made out of them, it's normally to glorify them in some fashion.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, when someone makes a meme out of you, it's the opposite direction, no?
Sometimes I've noticed. There's some memes out there that are, Balotelli has those crazy memes about him. Like there's moments like that, man. So. I think it can just. I think you can. It's a double-edged sword. It can go either way. How people feel about you. I think it's more of a chance is more of a thing for just the fans that can be in the stadium, but like memes are for like the global fans. Like we have global fans, obviously. 100 and 200 million, obviously. Some crap number like that they're saying, but yeah.
But the meme is like the Swiss fan. That guy's a meme immediately. I don't know if you've seen him. He's like holding his jersey, and then he's just stripped it off and he's screaming. Like that's classic. That is so great.
Right, guys. I did say that about 20 minutes into the stream, 25 minutes or thereabouts, we're going to get Brian Daigle. Brian, how you doing, my man? How you doing?
I am doing exceptionally well. How are you guys?
Oh, good.
Good to see you,
Brian.
I have to just quickly tell you all a funny story just about what's happened. It shows how my brain is operating and functioning, because I had my second COVID shot, sat in the waiting room, and I should be thinking to myself, do you know what? Thank God I've had both vaccines. My wife has now, my mother-in-law. I'm one step closer to coming home and seeing my nephews and my niece, who I'm missing dreadfully. The very first thing that came into my head was, I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you, Daniel Levy. I'm coming for you. The very first thing that came into my head after that vaccine.
Oh,
so yeah,
set your mind free.
Oh,
Brian.
Yes, sir.
I have on my phone, on the WhatsApp.
Yep.
I think I've collected something like maybe 8 or 9 songs that you've done.
Oh yeah.
About Levy.
Oh, brilliant! Okay. It's like literally.
And I think we're one or two close to making an album.
So me and Brian Ireland are going to release one for Christmas. I finally found that song from Meatloaf, but I won't do that.
Yeah.
It's Daniel Levy spending money. That's what that song is about. I've cracked it after all these years. I know what he will do or won't do. So me and Brian are going to do a rendition of that. There's Mumbo number 5 for all the managers we've gone through. So yeah, there's an album coming.
All right. Yup Dup is in the house. Yup Dup is in the house. Shout me out. He says, shout me out.
Yep,
Ben Holt. They're really Ben Holt's in the house. He's in the house. Stelios, of course, he's been prolific in the house, as you probably have been seeing. Where's Will? This is my show, and Brian over here, and another gentleman by the name of Awesome. We're the 3 wise men, supposedly. Well,
2.5.
At least we have 3 wise people in the panel in most shows.
Is it
even
Christmas?
If we're not
your
wise.
album's coming out, Brian.
Say again.
Is it Christmas? Did you say it's coming out?
Christmas. Well, let's see if any more antics.
Well, you've got to have a Christmas cover. So instead of All I Want for Christmas Is You, you could have All I Want for Christmas Is Enoch Out.
Well, you see, this is the thing. When Levy released that video, that lovely 6-minute video, honestly, again, how songs came into my head. That song came into my head because I was like, Levy, you just keep giving me these gifts for me to rant. So you've come up with a good one there. There's the album cover. Well played, Ginty.
Try to think of other Christmas songs you have.
The chat really has been going explosive mode. Joe27 over here saying hello to everyone. Derek Hutchinson's in the house as well. He wants Brian Daigle to become the manager. Brian, I think this is about the 50th time someone's asked you to become the manager. Why are you not putting your name forward? You don't want to work with Levy, right?
But let's just put it this way. I would give a better press conference than Ryan Mason. That's for damn sure.
Can you see this?
There you go.
I wouldn't do the Peter Kay. I'd be full on.
No, I was saying that to Stelios.
Dale, you have an itch on the other side of your face as well.
Yeah. Oh, do I? Oh,
yeah, there you go.
Oh, I can't
there we go.
There you go.
Well, look, we did win something called the Audi Cup, but let's just move on. Let's just move on. Ollie Camp just watched a Wolves fan reaction video when Nuno was sacked. They were gutted and said he was fantastic, played good football, and took their club to places they've dreamed of. Technically, he did. I mean, 7th, 7th, and 15th is not too bloody. It's quite good considering the last season he didn't have a striker.
I have to come in here because I've actually got a Wolves fan myself as well. From what I've heard, this is really split down the middle, where some Wolves fans are saying they're very, very happy he's gone, and some saying exactly the opposite. But what I need to say about this all is, listen, yes, he did do good at Wolves because Wolves, whenever they've come up, have lasted one season and gone back down or gone straight back down. But when Nuno came in, they were buying Premiership players in the Championship. They walked that league. Now, don't get me wrong, finishing 7th and 7th, and a lot of people were saying when they first came up, Wolves were going to be a dark horse. And they were, first of all. And then you look at it this season, and I'm not saying this because I really don't want him to be the manager, but to tell the truth, right now, I don't care who comes, just get the bloody person in the job. He lost Jota, which was a huge, huge thing.
Yeah.
They lost Matt Doherty. They lost Matt Doherty because they went 4 at the back. And listen, we all know what Doherty does, but when he was right wing back for Wolves and he played there, he was bloody good. But they went to a back four and realised he couldn't play it. So our brilliant businessman decided that'd be a good deal. Then they lost Jimenez to the most awful injury. So I mean, Wolves were depleted. So I don't think this season is a fair reflection on them. Losing.
I like Jimenez so much that I really, really, really wanted him to be like maybe somehow, Levy has a dream that one day and wants to go and buy him. He's such a lovely boy, and then he had that injury this season. It's a horrible injury. The fact that he may come back. I mean, when you hear this, like what happened to Ryan Mason, you don't normally hear this. The only thing I have about him coming back is obviously when you see people come back from a broken leg or a really, really bad injury, that very first tackle that they're going to make, they're a bit hesitant. Some people like Roy Keane don't give a shit. They'll go straight back in. But you've got to wonder, with a fractured skull like that, the first time he has to go for a 50-50 header, then you've got to think, with that timing, does he have that split second where he bottles it? And the thing is, if he does bottle it and then go for it, that split second could have a huge impact in a negative way.
Right.
So I mean, this kind of injury, whether
it's
if
not
he comes
just 50-50,
back,
if it's anything in the box too, right?
Yeah.
Like you've got keepers coming out with their fists. Like it's something where it's a gut instinct to protect yourself.
Does it remind
that hesitation will be there?
Does it
But
remind you of?
But do you think he'll come back with the head protecting? Like what Peter Cech used to wear the last time.
I was going to say, do you not think it reminds you of like how amazing Peter Cech was before that injury, and how he lost a part of his game, because he was you have to admit he was probably one of the best keepers in the world before that. He was
fearless at one time.
Yeah. But it's different though for a keeper, I would imagine, right? Because he's not out there every time.
I'm just saying, like an injury like that kind of just causes that drop, doesn't hesitate, stuff like that.
No, it's a mental part of it.
You think about it as well. This is a serious question because I don't know what it is. Obviously, Peter, we'll talk about Peter Cech. He wore that mask and obviously covering his head for a long, long time, for a very, very long time. Now, he's a goalkeeper. Now, I just wonder if outfield players would be allowed to wear it.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Because you got to think, I don't know if that'd have an impact on the. Obviously, it will have an impact on the heading somewhat, but I don't know. Obviously, if someone's on the receiving end of that and a 50-50,
VAR, that little extra centimeter, it's going to get you off sides for VAR.
But not even that. Not even that. If you think about it, I don't know what the material is protecting his head, and if he heads someone with it, it could do just as much. So I don't know.
But I think it's soft. I don't think it's a hard material.
I think also Chicks was quite a level above in an injury, because it wasn't it like he had to wear that or he wasn't allowed to play legally, because if he took a head injury without any protection, he would have died. Like the injury was that bad on that side. So
guys, those are terrible things that do occur, unfortunately, on the football pitch, and with Ericsson as well. These type of things.
Did you see the Sweden red card?
Yeah. No, I didn't get to see it, but it was a high tackle. It was a high.
Yeah.
He got the ball, but it was a high challenge. Yeah.
But luckily, it didn't turn out that bad. It looked quite bad.
Yeah.
I thought he broke his kneecap or something like that.
Yeah, it looked hyperextended for sure.
Yeah.
Guys, that's quite depressing. Let's move back onto our little music and chants and rants.
That's right.
Every time we talk about Spurs in that way, man, it's like, oh, they're as depressing as anything. It's now just okay. Beatrice is in the house as well. I think we've kind of covered the comments to a certain degree, and just get them out of the way for a while. Guys, we will come back to your comments in a little while, but right now I just want to quickly cover Anthony as much as I possibly can before we move on to the next bit. Anthony, some of the viewers that we've got here at the Rants channel, they may have only seen you a couple of times.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, where do people find you? Where are you from? What are you actually doing with Spurs? And what type of interaction do you have with football right now?
Yeah, so Jinty and I do the You Tell Me football podcast, got a YouTube channel, and we're on Twitter as well at You Tell Me FP. So we're talking football in general, but we're always going to have a Spurs segment because Spurs is in my heart. And so actually just coming up in the next few days, going to be doing an interview with the guy that does commentary for my local club. He's been covering the team since 2015, so I'm excited to get his perspective on what it's like to commentate and things like that. And so, should be an interesting episode.
Right, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to quickly pop into the chat a link to your channel.
Sure.
Right, and off it goes because I'm admin. I can do that, and pretty much it's on everywhere. Right.
Just a subtle flex right there.
I'm an admin,
viewers out there. If you're going a bit kuka with the football and Spurs, and you need some balance in your mind,
yes,
like some gentle water on a waterfall, then please go visit Anthony's channel. You tell me, right? You can do it right now and come back because we're still going to be here. Trust me. Go there, like and subscribe anything that you can find. Now, Dale, aka Jinty, you're now associated with Anthony in creating this channel and creating content for it. Can you tell the viewers a little bit about yourself and how you're associated with Anthony on this particular channel?
That was exactly what I was going to ask. Go on, Mr. K.
Well, it was just a YouTube algorithm, when he was starting to make some videos, and I liked some of the just the kind of calm, level-headed approach he was talking about Spurs, and you could see he had a real passion, and so he had the Discord going, and I was just getting into Discord myself, and I was just going back and forth, and then just hooked up and said, "Do you want to watch the games together?" Because I'm a Spurs fan in the middle of a tiny island off the coast of Scotland, so no one really wants to sit down and watch Spurs with me, mate. So it was using the internet to, hands across the ocean, and I would come on his show, and he was like needing people to talk about certain things, and it's just kind of blossomed from there.
Yeah. I'm excited.
I don't suppose anyone's noticed this, but Jason Well, dude, you're an absolute legend in the chat today. I must say, your opinions are strong, full of passion. You're very articulate, lots of knowledge. When I throw the link out there later on for the viewers in the chat to maybe jump on the panel, if you're around, please do click on that link. Jump in there, Jason. Honestly, I really love the passion that you have in terms of what your opinion is on this particular matter. Obviously, your expectation of the club is much higher.
Could you also bring up that question from Ben?
Yeah, I was going to go back to that.
Because it's a great question. I have one problem with it. Not a problem.
Right.
So I'll wait for you to find the question. It was A question
Just
where
earlier,
why
I was going to come back to it.
whilst you're trying to find it, I'll just summarise it. Basically, it was speaking about any manager potentially being a stopgap until Pochettino is available, and then it's all set up. And everyone is thinking this and discussing this and saying this, and it's all well and good. And I understand that, and I thought that for a second myself. And there's two sides to it. First of all, I wouldn't work for Levy if you paid me. And surely Poch knows that. But secondly, I kind of think what happens if, and I'm not saying this will happen, we win a couple of trophies under Nuno and actually do well. Do you then say, well, listen, I had you for 2 years. I wanted you to get us top 4 or whatever and bring money in because that's all I care about. But along the way, you've actually listened to done what the fans wanted and won trophies. Thank you so much. Goodbye.
I think it's... I'm sorry, carry on.
No, I was about to say the first thing I would do if I was Nuno is I'd say, listen, if you're offering me 2 years, I've got a funny feeling that I know why it's 2 years, and I ain't touching pen to paper unless you give me 3 years. So I've got I've got something in my pocket because every chairman, every manager, every player knows Levy will screw his own grandmother to make money. So a manager makes no difference. So it's a really good question. I would love to know. Not all just your guys' thoughts, the things in the comments. I'm just very concerned with the thought of that because obviously, if Nuno does do well, how can you sack him?
Yeah. Well, how can you sack him? It's Daniel Levy. That's how you do it.
Exactly, but I mean, that part we know. But obviously, maybe it's not justified. If you know what I mean. I mean, none of his sackings are truly justified if we look at them. But this, if he does everything that he asked for and he brings trophies, you can't really say, you know what I mean? AVB, you can say. Poch, obviously, we're not even going to touch that because that was lunacy. Martin Yole, lunacy. But there's been managers down the line where there's been no reason behind it. And this one I'm talking about now, if he had won trophies, he has absolutely no like unfair dismissal. He has no valid reason to say you're gone.
Can I ask you a question about this? So, how we're going? It seems to be pretty nailed on that we're going for Nuno. Even though that's been said about 1 billion times. These few months.
We've never had a reversal, have we?
That's why he's done it.
Out of all the managers, right, that are kind of let's be honest, okay, we're not going to get a manager. We're more likely to get a manager out of work than a manager that's at a club. Because why would a club want to let their manager go just at the start of pre-season? And why would a manager want to come to the dumpster fire we have when they've got a nice setup already and they're getting ready for the next season? So it's going to be more likely we're going to get an out-of-job manager. And I've been saying some different streams and all that, and I just want to get your thoughts on. Why is this not happening? Because honestly, I feel like out of all the managers that are potentially right now, the Valverde is the best option. And I don't know why Levy isn't going for him. Because he plays Paratici's style of football. Here's the thing though, right? Here's the thing. He was known as a yes man at Barca. That was one of the reasons they didn't like him, because the Barca director of football was not playing the Barca way and all this stuff, and he was wanting defensive. So he was vilified for just doing what the bosses wanted. So why isn't Levy like, oh, that's a nice tasty, for my power hungry egomaniac? And he's brought in more youth players at Barca than any manager for the last 20 years. He had brought through 10 youth players, mate, and he's done well with struggling with Atletico Bilbao with their constraints about having only Catalan-based players. So, and he's won shit, man. He's won the Liga. He's won in Greece. And I asked Stelios and I asked other people, and I'm like, why is this not happening, mate? Because I don't get why Levy doesn't like the look of that, and he's ticks all the boxes, man.
Ginty, you've just said exactly about a Spanish dude what we all feel about Ten Hag.
Right.
Why would you get a player? Why would you bring a manager that works with youth?
Oh, you're right, Spanish.
Would work with youth, bring through players, can identify, plays attacking football, serial winner. Why would a football team want all those? Surely we want someone that can build a skywalk or buy players for 2.3 pence rather than 2.3 whatever. That's why it's.
Don't you think though? all of this is because the Super League didn't happen.
Yeah, that's what I've been saying as well, man.
He banked on that so hard. He built $1 billion stadium.
Oh yeah.
That's how much he was banking on that Super League being a real thing, and for that freaking long. So when that came crumbling down, I mean, he fired. I truly believe he fired Jose thinking he'd have the pick of the litter
Because the Super League would go through.
because the Super League.
Jason,
So
bang
the
on.
Super League happens.
Bang on, Jason.
He fires Jose, and then he's thinking, "Oh, it's going to be fine. No big deal. We can get whoever we want. We'll have them funds." And then it all just unraveled, and he's been unraveling ever since.
Yeah.
And the hiring of just to go back to what you said, Brian, the only way that Nuno actually trusts whatever contract is given to him is Paratici. That's the only way I can see him trusting the word of anyone. And if that falls apart, it's going to be. There already is seemingly no trust between anyone and Daniel Levy, not just the fans, but like 5 managers now, people trying to do deals with him for transfers. Like, it's just so bad that I think Paratici is his only hope of saving any sort of face for the next 2 or 3 years. And if Nuno works out, great. But if he doesn't work out, it actually goes into Levy's plans.
Plans of what?
Guys,
Trying to bring back Poch one day.
yeah.
Why would
Look,
Poch come
this
back,
is
man?
this is either a myth. This is either this could be so not true. We're just meant to be dangling with hope.
Mm.
How do you handle mediocrity currently? By dangling some hope for the future.
Mhm.
I mean, I have to say as well, for a team, Crystal Palace lost Roy Hodgson, or he retired, whatever you want to say,
Yeah.
last game of the season.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They forget who it is, and they've already got a manager.
Right.
Not one word. If anyone woke up this morning and said, "Do you know what? Patrick Vieira is going to be the manager of Crystal Palace," you would have said, "What are you on? You're talking nonsense."
Mm.
Everything under the radar. Whether you know what I mean, he's not. He managed Nice and he's managed in America. You all know it's a huge difference coming to the Premier League.
Yeah.
He hasn't got the experience, but what Patrick Vieira does have is he knows this league back to front. He's won it all. He's captained. He knows this division.
Yeah.
And to keep something like Patrick Vieira, which is a huge coup for Crystal Palace,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. is
just mind-blowing. I mean, if I'm to be honest, getting back to Nuno, I'm just happy that the one thing I am happy about is that if it is Nuno, I must admit, and I don't know if ever Spurs fans felt the way I did this morning, when I heard that De Boer had left Holland, I was shitting myself.
Yeah.
I was like, don't even think about it.
Mhm.
And I was like, don't even, and thankfully not. But you've seen, even Everton, all right, Everton, the Rafa Benitez one has been rumoured for a while.
Mhm.
They lost Ancelotti way after we lost.
Yeah.
And Benitez, again, is someone that's won stuff at Liverpool.
Mhm.
I know everyone's saying all these rumour leaks, Paratici, or however you say his name,
Yeah.
Mhm.
but it's just gone to show that other teams are able and capable to do it, and not with such a big pull as us.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also you've got to remember with the Everton one, Carlo Ancelotti left them to go join Real Madrid. We
Yeah.
didn't. It wasn't pre-planned and orchestrated,
Yeah.
and they sacked him. It was like the club were at a disadvantage, and they're still
Yeah.
doing bigger moves than us. So
Yeah, it just,
Yeah.
no, this is what I'm saying. It just goes to show it's not just when it comes to looking at Tottenham Hotspur, we all have our bias regardless. And obviously we all know I have a certain feeling towards the chairman. He's not on my Christmas card list or Hanukkah list, or he's not on, he's on a list,
On the
but
list.
just nothing.
But he's on your
just not
email
on-
list.
Just not, yeah, he's on my, he's just not on my positive list. And then you look at it, and the other thing you got to look at from what it's looking at is it blatantly looks like Grealish is going to Man City.
Mm.
Because they've gone and got Bundia.
Oh, of course.
Mhm.
They're going mad. They're going mad for Smith Rowe,
Mhm.
and it's fairly obvious that they're trying to get midfielders in. I think personally, because obviously a big player's leaving, and we think a big player is only him. Bundia turned down Arsenal, which obviously is absolutely brilliant for us. But they're getting the business done. They are spending 30 million, whatever,
Mhm.
and it just goes to show how other teams that aren't the size of Tottenham Hotspur are operating with billionaires in charge of them.
Yeah. Look, I was on some Gooners channels, and they were talking about their chairman exactly the same way we talk about our chairman. You know, there seems to
Yeah,
be
but
a
Kroenke
general
spends
trait.
70 million on Pepe.
No, but the thing is,
Yeah.
by relative comparison, what I said about their talk about it is exactly the same way. You know, they're saying, look, they spent 70 million on this, but they're saying, hey, man, we spent another 10 more million. We could have got that guy. Look what he's doing now. If we bought him like 2 years ago, we would have bought him for like 20 million instead of trying to pay 80 million. They're talking exactly the same way we talk. Honestly, God, I'm not joking.
I don't know if you saw this on Twitter. There was somebody who suggested, and I don't know if the WWE wrestling world means anything to anyone on this, but Vince McMahon hates Kroenke. And he would love more than anything to put one over on him. And so they were suggesting if he could own Spurs, it would be better than Levy by far. It would just because it wouldn't be Levy. And he might actually be willing to do something to try to make Kroenke look poor. But anyway,
wrestling events in London.
Yeah, dude, exactly. It's
Not just that. We can put one of them alongside Højbjerg to be a defensive midfielder and let Højbjerg do what he does.
You know, there'll also
guys,
be all those Mexican supplements as well.
Just to say one thing, right? Ever since the hashtag No to Gattuso has gone in and Levy has listened to the fans supposedly and not bring Gattuso in, right? And every time we bring in a manager that we don't like, okay, the fans don't like, and we go and hammer them on social media, and Levy says, okay, I'll listen to the fans. Do you know one thing? In the end, we'll end up with somebody called Ryan Mason if we keep doing that.
Yeah.
Think about it.
I think that's what I think he's the bogeyman.
Yeah. Little book
I think Ryan Mason is the bogeyman.
No,
if I don't,
because if he keeps on going on that line, right? Okay, come on. Yeah. Logically, we are not going to get any manager, right, that we have to pay something for. We have to look at all the free managers that's out there now, right?
Well,
we're going to get Potter. Potter, we're going to pay compensation up to £20 million. Levy's not going to do that, right? Is Valverde working with somebody now, or is he free?
That's what I meant. He's not working as well.
So maybe he's possible. Okay, of course, Nuno and the rest of them that are free that we know, right? And of course, Fonseca was somehow happened something else somewhere down the line, but. If we keep pushing this button, in the end, Levy's going to turn around and say, look at you fans. You're the ones keeping all these managers away, right? Because every time you put out a name, you give the potential manager coming in negative.
Eugene, guys, too much.
I got broads in Atlanta. She took me in the family. Credit cards in the scammers. Getting the list in the banner. Legacy.
Okay.
Guys, too much. Honestly, every time we go near that man's name, my blood pressure goes up. I start to feel something about here somewhere. And I'm being very patient, honestly. I know people need to let it out, but we've done an awful lot of that. I think
I let it out on Tottenham away yesterday. I went to a level that I didn't think I would.
I know. And there was a lady in the house.
Yeah,
that's why.
There was a lady in the
house.
Well,
no, I tell you the truth. Yes, there are a few expletives and yes, there are a few swear words, but I was going to go on a mad one, but it's got to the point, like you were saying with your blood pressure, Mr. K.
Yeah.
What's quite worrying is when this shit is happening, I'm not getting pissed off like I'm talking like this now, but in my head and everything else, I'm absolutely furious. My blood is boiling, and I'm just like, oh, don't start triggering me. Don't, because then this show will take a very drastic turn. I want to go in a different
direction. Brian, for you today, this whole episode and next week's episode is designed really around you, Brian.
Oh,
honestly, you inspired me to make this episode and next week's episode because of the songs that you came out with, the chants that you came out with against Levy. And what I want to do for the audience and the viewers today, right, is I want to show them an example of the creation that can happen from the heart when it's hit a wall against something that it loves. I'm going to try to do this with my computer, and if it crashes, guys, give me a few minutes. I'll jump out and come back in again. But I'm going to give this a bash because I think the viewers, they need to see this if they haven't seen it. And let's just see if this works. I'm going to add it to the stream.
Drum roll, please.
Bang. And let's just hope this works. Right?
Oh,
Let's just hope the volume's good as well.
Robotic.
If it doesn't work, yeah. Oh, there's no audio.
There's no audio.
I think there will be for the people watching. Type if you can hear, because this sometimes happens when I'm in the back end of We Are Tottenham TV, so they may be able to hear it. See if you get any yeses in the comments or anything.
I mean, I'm happy to sing it live too.
Oh, even better. Why listen to it via YouTube when you can have the
I think
real?
we might have to do that.
Still,
I'm very worried about
mic.
my computer's
No
going to
mic.
crash and burn on me.
No mic.
Okay, shall we
I'll
stop
grab
this?
the
I'll
guitar.
do it for real.
I'll
Get the
grab it.
guitar now, mate.
What an exclusive.
Oh.
No, Aaron, that's Anthony.
And I did know about this, but
No
I must
audio,
admit
yeah.
I haven't heard it. So this is going to be
Oh, what have you done, Mr. K? There you go.
Right.
Will says there's no audio.
okay. Well, we're going to have it live. Mr. K has disappeared.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
I tell you what,
Log in
he's
and log
like,
out
he's
again,
like
yeah.
Ginty, he's like a kid with a new toy with that thing.
Yeah.
So, what happens if I press this? What happens if I press that?
And then don't cut it off. That's
Just
all.
goes. Just breaks.
God, could you imagine if he's in charge of the nuclear football? What does this red button do?
He's back.
He's back.
You're back?
Back. Oh, my days. Please don't tell them about the red button.
Yeah.
It's like, literally, mate.
Yeah, the red
I
button.
must admit, I've got to say, Brian Island gave me a tutorial at the back end of StreamYard, and the first time I was helping him with it, I was like, oh my God, I was like, literally, like, so yeah, I
Don't press
understand.
that red button. Don't
Yeah,
press that
yeah.
red button.
Right. Apparently, Will Stewart's telling me to check the little box on the bottom left-hand side. Okay, right. Fair enough.
Well,
Next
it shouldn't
time.
matter right now because he'll be singing it live.
Yeah, he's saying that there was no audio coming out of it, but they got the video. They could see. Can you see?
Oh, he's tuning
Right,
the
don't
guitar.
worry.
You
I
can
can
hear
hear-
the
yeah,
We're
could
gonna
you
get
hear
a live
that?
show in a
a
minute.
little tune.
It's like Ed Sheeran just about to go on stage.
I
Just
tell
doing
you
the
the
final
truth.
tuning.
Did you see him constantly appearing at the England game?
Do
Yeah, but you know the
look,
weirdest, Ginty, you know the weirdest thing about that? I was
Yeah.
watching on YouTube today, and there was a thing for James Corden about the show that he does in America, and they said it's Ed Sheeran week, and he was there in the dressing room, and he's meant to be there all week. Now I don't know if that was last week, and I'm just catching up, or if the superstar is literally jumping on a blooming private jet right now. And stop playing with the buttons, Mr. K. There we go. Just leave it. I was having a conversation with Ginty, and then I was looking at myself. So I don't know, but I'll tell you what, honestly,
Okay.
now you can do it.
I know.
Oh, wrong one.
Oh,
No, I messed
you
it
have
up
to sing
again.
now. You have
I
to sing,
messed
Mr. K.
it up again. What am I doing wrong? Okay, right. I was here, and then let's
All
just
right.
watch them together.
Yeah,
And the
Guys,
viewers can see our reaction too. Viewers, I would like to present to you Anthony.
You know this song. I just changed a little bit of the lyrics, so if you remember it, you can sing along. You know I can't smile and watch you. I can't smile and watch you. I can't laugh and I can't sing. I'm finding it hard to do anything. You see, I feel sad when you're trash. I feel bad when you're bad. If you only knew what we're going through, we just can't smile and watch you. Now here's the best bit. You came along just like a song and ruined my day. Who'd have believed that we were Champions League? Now it all seems light years away. You know we, come on guys, can't smile and watch you.
We can't sing.
Anthony,
We're
you're
crap
coming on.
chorus.
Anthony, you're coming on my album. Coming on my album,
Sounds
without
good.
a doubt.
Who to
Now, that's
believe?
what I call-
This
we're
is
gonna-
the truth, though. This is the thing that came from my heart. Who to believe that we were Champions League? Now it all seems light years away. That's how I felt. And it's just, man. Anyway, it really is like helpful to just be able to play a little ditty to get it out of your chest. Anyway,
Guys, viewers,
Good one.
viewers in the chat, viewers looking out there, in the chat, I've put the link to that video, and it goes more or less 30 seconds before the music starts. Go and look at it yourself when you get an opportunity, or you can look at it now if you're bored of us and come back to us later. But yeah, Anthony, people seem to like what you do.
That was incredible. It wasn't. Forget the actual words. The actual singing, Anthony, was absolutely banging. I think you and Will Stewart need to do a duet because Will's got a banging voice on him. Will's got a banging voice on him.
Nice.
Bob needs to
I'd
do
be
a
happy to
remix.
do. Yeah, the remix,
honestly-
totally. I'm down. Anyway,
Why do I prefer Potter over Nuno? One's got a magic wand. Come on. Hogwarts. Broomstick. Quidditch. Essential English.
Any other reason?
But guys, it's
Essential English from a Scottish writer. Aye.
Bob Spur. What a thriller today. German finishing was bad.
Crap.
Open goal. It was going there. The camera from behind showed it. And then it hit the ground and spun away. And when
I
you
can't
looked at his
believe a
foot-
team. I can't. No, but seriously, I can't believe a team that played 3 right backs looked more attacking.
Yeah.
Like what
That was
about,
probably
man?
one of the highlights of the day. We chose the day for football. And you know what? In a way, I'm kind of happy that we did because a lot of the people that are coming into the chat that are definitely been supporting England are going to be jovial. They're going to be singing chants. It's coming home. Apparently.
Rome.
We've been wishing for our stuff to come home for years.
Of course, I must admit, if I was back home now, I'd be screaming. I'd scream at the top of my voice. I'd be absolutely. I wouldn't be able to stop partying, jumping, and celebrating. I mean, I've watched a few of the videos with back home. Let's just have a quick chat about what's happened today. I remember watching from back home all the World Cup reactions when Hyde Park and everything was full, and it was just incredible to see. And even today, first of all, seeing a stadium nearly full was incredible. I was watching it on the BBC, so seeing Gary Lineker and all of them out, and you could hear the noise. Normally they're in the studio, but then also you look at it and you've seen a few places. There's been a few bars and a few parks where they've obviously done social distancing, but it's just such a, it doesn't matter what country you're from, even Scotland, Ginty, it must have been a joy for people just to witness that, to see that it's happening. It was just incredible.
Honestly, look, guys, Brian,
yeah,
out of the 5 of us, you know, at some stage or another, you've been in a stadium more than us. When you were there last, or the times before, a certain player would pick up the ball, do a few bits and pieces with it, knock it across. Maybe it goes into a goal. Maybe it's an assist. Maybe it's a vicious takedown of an Arsenal player. The crowd would start to chant his name. And they would start to create little chants just about that one particular player. Was there any particular players that had chants made of them in the last few years that when you were watching it? Who was that player?
Mate, there's been loads. I mean, the one thing I will say, the one thing I will say, not just for Tottenham, the people that make these songs up and get them around the stadiums, are just geniuses. I'll give a couple of examples. If someone had told me when we signed Christian Eriksen that his song would be to the theme of Agadoo, I would have been like, "What the hell? How are you going to do that?" But there was one song that I thought was just fantastic, and it was for Pascal Chimbonda. And do you remember that song? What's that coming over the hill? Is it a literally is what's that coming over the hill? Pascal Chimbonda. Pascal, and I was just the brilliance, the brilliance of it. And then there was one that didn't go crazy for Pavlyuchenko, but it was supercalifragilistic. Roman Pavlyuchenko, when he's drinking coffee, he puts vodka in his Kenko. He will go crazy, and you always know he meant something like that. Supercalifragilistic. Roman Pavly. It's honestly, it's genius. It's like when you get Teddy Sheringham or players like that, where it's a obvious fit for the song. It's kind of, or if they've come from a team before, it's easy. But those kind of ones are just
so creative.
Have you ever heard of the title, the football headline was supercalifragilistic, like that chant?
Espialidocious.
Yeah,
I don't think I have, but the ones
it was against my team. So always you always have a love for that. It just shows you the kind of like the way it could be turned, because that was changed into. Have you ever heard of there's a team called Inverness Caledonian Thistle, and so they're known as Inverness Cali, and Celtic played against them and were horrible. And some journalist just had a stroke of little genius and made the headline "Super Cali go ballistic, Celtic are atrocious." And it became it became known as the best like football headline.
That's amazing,
and it's like stuck in. So like you have a lovely memory of it. But every time I hear Super Cali with football, I always hear Celtic are atrocious.
The other song I love actually is from Celtic, and I wanted to use it for Stephen Bergwijn, and I know Ben at Tottenham TV, We Are Tottenham uses it. Is the Scott Sinclair song you had?
Oh yeah, how does that go again, man?
It's right in. That one when he goes, is it Scott? I'm sure it's Scott Sinclair, but it's that, and the crowd go da 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 da. That one, and it was just.
There's some terrible songs out there, honestly.
There are
good ones too.
There are.
Right, here's the question though: is that Brian, in your time?
Yep.
And any of you guys, Dale, Eugene, or Anthony, has there ever been a player that's had more than one song?
Oh, I'm sure there is.
Yeah.
Like?
I'm trying to
think.
Well,
Jan Vertonghen actually had a couple.
Okay.
So obviously they had Jan, Super Jan. Yeah. Or there was like the, I've got to remember it. It was the same tune as He Came From Amsterdam. That's it. Vertonghen, whoa. He came from Amsterdam to play for Tottenham. So he had two. But the Super Jan Vertonghen one became like the main huge one.
Is it Brian and Anthony and Dale, Eugene? Do the chants about players? Does a new chant get created because of something special that they did on the pitch, or something that they're doing, like an attribute that they have? Like for example, they'll dribble past a few people, and that could be the skill that the player's got. And when he shows it, everyone starts chanting his name out and saying, the dribbler.
Yeah, there's also like ones where it kind of just it shows like the attitude of the fans to that, and it's like what they're always remembered for. Because for the two examples I can think of from my two clubs are, he's one of our own for Harry Kane and Henrik Larsson, King of Kings. So you've got that. So that's exactly what you think straight away when you think of those players, and that's the way the chants get in, because chant, that's the thing with music, innit? It gets into your head, man, like a little brainworm, and so that's usually the first time you'll think of that player is the chant.
It's like you're bang on right, Ginty, because obviously some players come when you sign a striker, let's say a brilliant striker or a fantastic midfielder, let's just use Grealish. When he comes to your team, the song's getting generated. Whether you take the same song that he sings at Villa, unless they've got Villa in the title. But sometimes it can be a moment in a game where, let's just say, for instance, Højbjerg may have made a huge. I think for a term when you're at Spurs, the first time you're really welcomed, and they know the fans are on your side, is when you've done something and they point, and it's when you've made that fucking hard tackle or what, and that's kind of like right. You're one of us. That's your initiation. You've proved your point. Yeah. And you look at it. I mean, I came up with a song for Højbjerg, which I sang on We Are Tottenham TV, and I'm hoping it starts growing, and Ben's going to try and hope it grows. But Højbjerg has deserved a song all season. Obviously, we haven't had people at the ground, so it's very hard to start a song going when there's no one there. And if there's anyone that deserves a song in that squad right now, it's him.
Yeah.
100%.
It's
the man. The man.
To me, I mean, I've said it all season. I'm not going to back down from it. Yes, Kane and Son got the plaudits, scored the goals, the assists there. But to me, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg was our player of the season, hands down.
Yeah.
Hands down, and not just because of what he did on the pitch, his attitude.
Yeah.
And if you
he needs a song. He desperately needs a song. I mean, this guy is accelerated. He's on the fast track to becoming a Spurs captain.
Mate, if you had Pierre Højbjergs, man, midfield, defense.
Oh yeah.
How you just? I mean, the people with that that attitude. I mean, that team's gonna win everything. It's good. Man.
I mean, Jenty and I would talk about him. He would cheer when he would clear the ball with the most ferocious, that was my job and I did it and we're gonna do it again. And you want that for every player on the pitch. And you can't say that about every player. It's not even close for some of them.
No.
But I'm totally with you.
I watched again. I've watched it a few times now. If you go back onto Tottenham Hotspur's official YouTube, they do the part where it was his medical and his first interview, and he even says, "Listen, I give everything for my team. I will do anything for my team, and even if it means me absolutely pinning words like pinning someone up against and telling them, sort yourself out. He will do it. He will speak." And I can't remember what show it was on. I think it may have been on one of Will's shows or whatever. And we're talking about, and to me, I hate a goalkeeper being a captain. I hate a forward being a captain. For me, it has to be a defender, or most importantly, midfielder, because obviously they can get up and down the pitch and communicate. And obviously, we know Kane and Lloris are the captains, and that it may change with the manager. It may change. For me, Højbjerg, without doubt, without a shadow of a doubt, he needs that authority.
Do you ever hear the story when Sergio Reguilon joined with Bale? And Højbjerg had just joined. He'd only been there for 2 weeks, and he went up to Sergio and he was like, "Hello, my name's Højbjerg. Welcome to Tottenham. I hope we're expecting a lot of you." He's only been there for 2 weeks.
Yeah,
he's already
2 weeks longer. But
I'll tell you what it is. I'll tell you what it is. That's to have that type of to be that type of person.
Yeah,
where you go and do this, right? I mean, my first ever contract in IT was back in '96. NatWest Markets in Bishopsgate, and I turned up in the morning. It was like 8 o'clock. We're supposed to get there for 8:30. I turned up like 8 o'clock, half an hour early, and I got come inside, have some coffee, get security checked, and so forth. And then what happened is, because I was a completely new guy and never contracted in my life, and I was very lucky to get that contract. Literally, I had to bribe them with coffee. When the next person came in, I said, "Hi, my name's Khalid. I don't know who I'm supposed to, I got told to wait in one place. When every time someone came in, I said, "Hello, my name's Khalid. What's your name?" And then when they all came in, at the end of it, basically, management was short down by one supervisor for the day, one team leader, and they automatically looked at me and said, "Bang, that's the guy there." My first day, my first hour, lead engineer. And I think that's the leadership quality that you need to have. I did it by accident. But Højbjerg, that's his personality.
Yeah.
There was, I think there was a tweet by somebody that said that they were sitting having dinner, and Højbjerg came in, got up, and he actually said hello and everything, gave him a pat on the back, pictures and all the rest of it before he left. He didn't try to run away from them. Guys, what I've done is, because we've gone past that witching hour in the UK, gone 12 o'clock, about 10 minutes ago, I'm going to do two things. Okay. One, I'm going to do a quick shout out to our patrons, if that's okay with you guys.
Yes.
I'm going to quickly just pop into here and
Mr. K, why should you do that? I'll be back in 2 minutes. Okay.
Take your time, brother. Take your time. All right. The second thing I'm going to do after I've done the shout out for the patrons is I'm going to start inviting some people onto the chat, onto the panel. They're waiting right now. So if you're waiting, please do wait just 1 minute and I'll be with you. And I'm just going to quickly shout out to the Williams Rangers, who are the patrons for this lovely channel. They're keeping the lights on, keeping the electricity going, and also giving us encouragement that we're on the right track and we should pursue with this. Whatever the time that we're spending on this is worthwhile. And that's Spartan 7 Gaming, Wayne Bonner, Mama Coates, Celery Agent, AG, Gaguma, Tony Coe, Alex Burton, and Bob Spur from Bob Spur TV. These are wonderful people. Guys out there, I know there's a few of you that are going to be becoming patrons, and we're going to update these page as we go along. Now, the first person I'd like to introduce into the panel is, believe it or not, Tom. You're a Man United supporter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, don't worry, football first. We're talking about chance.
Hi, Tom.
We're talking about memories.
Hello.
And at the same time, if we want to be different next year, then we have to start concentrating on being football first. And having Tom here represents that. There is another person I'd like to introduce into the panel. His name is Chris. Chris, how are you doing, my man?
What's going on, Mr. K, my man? How you doing?
Not
Hi,
too bad,
Chris.
not too bad. Good to see you
Hi,
here.
hi, panel. How you
Hello,
doing?
hello.
How you all doing?
Doing well.
Chris, you you watch any football today?
Well, I watched the England game and I watched most of the Sweden.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a little bit.
A little bit of the Sweden game, but I got bored of
Were
it
you-
after the first half.
Were you excited when the England was playing?
I had a feeling today, actually, that England would win that one. I don't know why. I just had that strange feeling.
Yeah. Well, strangely enough, talk about strange feelings. I've got the one and only, the man with the hat, Mr. Stelios.
Nuno
The
Espirito
Nuno
Stelios.
Espirito Stelio at Tottenham away. Believe it or not, he's had that name since last week, and
And he's still keeping it.
he's a Fortune 100 cookie now. Stelios, are you there, or are you just falling asleep behind the wheel?
Obrigado,
He's not
amigo.
Oh,
Obrigado,
he's
amigo.
there. Okay, are you
Eating anything, Stelios?
are you in the bathroom by any chance?
What kind of a question is that, man?
I get a little bit of an echo. You know the type of echo you get when the voice hits tiles in the bathroom.
What kind of fantasy have you got going on in your head?
Okay, so if you start making some funny noises, we know you're squeezing one out. So next, not that type. Wait, none of that. Decent channel we have over here. Okay, Will saying bring a bucket and mop. That's Pierre. All right, guys. People are already. Chris, you have fans.
I know.
You have fans.
Oh, that's Tom. What's happening, Tommy? Big up, man.
Oh, look, Tom, you got fans, mate. You got fans.
Hey.
Oh my days. Listen, you know what?
Yeah.
Stelios, I have mute. I have also have eject too. Red button eject. No, I'm not pressing any red button, guys. Stelios, pleasure to have you here. Absolute pleasure. Did you watch the football by any chance?
Yeah, I watched the football. Brilliant result for England, I have to say. That was a brilliant result for England.
Were you happy, or were you just happy because Kane scored?
Oh, listen, I'm always happy if England do well. I thought that the Germans at 1-0 down, if Müller scored that goal, it would have been interesting. But as soon as he missed that, you knew England were going to win it. That's the kind of luck you need in a tournament. So, but yeah, look, Germany were the best team for the first 15 minutes. But after that, I thought England were in control of the game for most parts of it.
Nice to see you too, Bob, in the world. Let's feed the world. I think there was a song that was back in the 80s. Very, very popular. I do remember it.
Bob Geldof.
And Aaron's still trying to figure out if Stel's picture is him or the Greek Gandalf.
Stel's pick is him or the Greek Gandalf.
I get that
profile.
one.
Your
I'm
profile.
Portuguese. I'm Portuguese.
Are you Portuguese today?
No, not
Okay.
Espirito Stelio.
Roberto Stelios. Anthony, I don't know how much time you have with us today. I know that you won't be staying on too long because we've gone
Yes.
past the hour there.
Yes.
I would
got
like
about 5 or
to-
so.
I would like to give everyone the opportunity to maybe hear one more tune, that magic guitar of yours, and that amazing angelic voice.
You wanted me to play it again?
If you have that one, or if you have another,
I mean, I don't have another Spurs one, that's for sure. But I'll play it again. We can
Please
sing
do.
it together.
because the thing is, I don't want you going without at least the fans maybe jumping on right now that have decided to come onto the stream,
That have
because
missed.
Chris and Tom is here today, and Stelios, of course, jumping in.
Stelios,
They may
you
not
sing
have heard it
along.
earlier.
You can
Guys
translate
and girls. Sorry.
to Portuguese for us. I'm just kidding. All right. Should we just start with the chorus? You know we can't smile and watch you We can't smile and watch you. We can't laugh and we can't sing. We're finding it hard to do anything. You see, we feel sad when you're trash. We feel bad when you're bad. If Levy only knew what we're going through. We just can't smile and watch you. All right, here's the verse. The match came along just like a song and ruined my day. Who'd have believed that we were Champions League? Now it all seems light years away. You know we can't smile and watch you. We can't smile and watch you. We can't laugh and we can't sing. We're finding it hard to do anything. You see, we feel sad when you're trash. We feel bad when you're bad. If you only knew what we're going through. We just can't smile and watch you. There you go. And it's the truth.
Guys, honestly, it's
what a gift to human nature.
But
what a gift to human nature.
The words themselves, honestly, the words have meaning.
You know, in the East Stand in the new stadium, there's a guy that sits on a stool with the guitar, and he basically sings songs like that. But he does like renditions of Spurs songs. So you know, for example, the
guy that did LA.
Dele Alli. You know the Dele Alli
yes.
song?
Oh
sing
yeah.
That, but he'll do it in the style that Anthony just sang.
Oh yeah. Nice.
People just sit there clapping and dancing and drinking. They've got a guy that does something like that in the stadium.
That's awesome.
Next to the new art gallery we're building.
Yeah, that's it.
So he's going to be singing Kumbaya and everything. All good.
Right, so
let me just say hello to Chris and Tom. Hello, guys.
All right, Brian. How you doing?
All right, Brian.
All good. All good. Thank you, boys.
Brian for chairman.
Right.
Oh, please, not chairman, because then Levy's gone. Give me some pleasure. Give me a job where I can actually hold a conversation with him and stream it. That's what I want. I want to have a position where I can go and say, Daniel, I need 15 minutes of your time. Do you have time for a meeting?
The gardener?
Anything, mate. Anything. Kit cleaner, steward, whatever you want. His PA, because believe me, his messages will be read out the way I want them, not the way he wants them. That's for sure.
What, the expletive ones, Brian? Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, I want to be that guy. You know, that guy that sometimes sits next to the manager of the football club in press conferences and says, "Yeah, he's not answering that," or tells them what that. I want to be that guy, and say, "Ryan, fill your boots up. Manager, fill your boots up." Or I'll take over, and that's my dream job at Tottenham.
Brian, I would love to see a press conference done by you, Brian. I have to say, I would love to watch a press conference done by Brian Daigle. 100%.
Even the other one I was looking at is, do you remember when Marine did that thing for the FA Cup and one of the Spurs fans were going to be the manager? Yeah. I was like, please, Tottenham, do a competition where one fan gets to be at a press conference and ask questions. Yeah. And I would literally buy as many tickets as possible just to be at that person. I think that would be the one.
Well, Jason,
perfect.
Jason, where are you, my man? The link's in the chat. Please jump in.
Yes, jump in. I'm going to have to get going, Mr. K.
Yeah,
Friends,
thank you very much, Anthony,
for
being
good talking with you and singing with you.
Anthony.
Good night and good morning to you all.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure, Anthony.
God bless you. God bless you. Guys, you know.
Now you've got the better half left.
Look, when one goes, look, we're Spurs fans. Where one goes, another one turns up. Jason, how are you?
Hey, very good, thank you. How are you all?
Not too bad. Good, you hear the singing?
Oh, I love the singing. It was fantastic. Gave me a lift.
Did you see the football?
I did. Unfortunately, no, it was good. No, it's brilliant to finally exercise some demons.
And you saw the goal?
I did, absolutely. Mr. Kane, of course.
Mr. Kane.
Yeah. You know one thing, actually, talking to the football today, because I was having my shot, I know Ukraine won, but was it in extra time or was it penalties?
Believe it or not, it was in normal time.
I swear it went to extra time.
No, he's talking about Ukraine and it was
Ukraine Sweden game.
I forget.
Extra time.
Extra time.
Watch that.
Actually,
it was the last minute.
Last minute.
Yeah, last minute.
Guys, this theme that I started with today, it really had to do with moments and why people make songs and so forth. We're only touching it lightly because I have another guest which will be arriving next week. And he was meant to be here today, but unfortunately England played today. He got extremely a little bit tipsy and unfortunately can't make it. But he's promised to come next week, and that's the gentleman who came out with the original Levy chant. And I desperately want to get him on here. That was, I don't know if any of you guys have, does anyone not heard of the Levy, you bald?
I can see you. You can see me.
See me. Right.
I have to say, Mr. K, I was so looking forward to it, and I'll have to wait next week because the first thing I'm going to do when he comes on screen is literally go like this to him. literally, that guy is my hero.
It's kind of good that I got to spread it across 2 days because I really need to use another machine in order for me to capture some of the video clips and actually play them to the audience. What I've done today is I've got the URLs and given it to people in the chat. And, because I tried it with the machine, it kind of really messed up a little bit, to tell you the truth. The next point which I made to you, Brian, was, and I can open it up to everyone else as well, is when an individual does one thing and a song is created, a chant is created, and then that same individual then maybe does some other type of thing at some different moment, and that particular moment has a special significance and people start to, have a chant or a song about that. And I was asking Dale earlier, I said, memes are a modern day version of songs and chants. But the difference is memes generally tend to be pointed towards people's failings rather than what they've done, which is good. Mm-hmm. It seems to me that if you had to write songs about one particular person and there was many reasons and many occasions, would Levy not fit that bill? And what the type of memes that you're seeing on the internet and the Twitterverse and the WhatsAppverse just reflect how many different moments there are that Levy has pissed everyone off at.
Definitely.
The largest, one of the best stadiums on the planet. Let's sing a song about that. No? The best training facilities on the planet. Let's sing a song about that. No? Levyland with the rock climbing and the swimming pool. Wonderful facilities. Let's sing a song about that. No, he gets memed instead. So that's the opposite. You do something terrible on the pitch, we want you off. You do it again, we're going to keep chanting names out to you. Like, for example, Dyer. We started calling him Moon Boots. It takes one person to coin it, but it inspires everyone to sing it. Levy. Jason, you're last man on. I understand that you have a certain epiphany with a certain relationship with Levy, a personal one. You mind sharing that with us?
I wish I knew what you're talking about.
Do you like Levy?
Do you know what the thing is when you look at the business side of the man, and I know this is something that we all look at in terms of there's two sides to him. You cannot fault so much that he's done for the club. And I remember Alan Sugar, and I remember before that Irvin Scholar as well, and the problems that we had. So from a business angle, he has absolutely transformed the football club. So it's taken me a long time to come around to the idea that perhaps he isn't a god at the club. But over the last 2 years or so, or really since Poch didn't get backed, as we know is truly the case, I think, it's always been going one way and it's been going downhill ever since. And I think the surprise to me is that, as we all know, if you invest on the pitch, then the whole business becomes more profitable. And he took an option there to essentially make us the best stadium in the world, potentially. And, I've been in there. I would agree. I think it is, from my point of view. When you maybe could have spent half that, which was the budget, and then maybe put a bit more of that money into the team and then, get a bit of an even balance, don't you think?
Well, I think this is one of the things that a lot of people are now starting to point to, which is the supposed myth that he's a wonderful businessman. I think he understands leverage very well because he's got the club behind him. He uses the club as leverage. So I think in terms of leverage, he's very good at squeezing people out of everything. You can't have him unless you satisfy me. Stelios, what's your take on this?
I disagree. I don't think I've said this many times. I don't think the money we spend is the problem. Investment has never been the issue at Tottenham. Not in recent years. We spent £230 million in the past 2 years. The problem is the recruitment. Who decides where the money is spent, what type of player we spend the money on, how much we spend on one player as opposed to 8, and which players stay at the club and which players are removed. It's a HR issue. It's a personnel issue at Tottenham. That is the issue I've got with Daniel Levy and Enoch. I don't believe the managers are having enough say on the issue.
Okay. Well, sorry. I think we've all got differing, slight differences of opinion because of what we know. But Jason, you wanted to say.
I literally just wanted to come back and say that I totally agree with that, except I would say that it's not been the case of not spending money. It's been not going that extra bit to get the right player. So, as you say, when it comes to recruitment, for example, we're always going for the next best player. When we had a chance to sign Skriniar, we ended up with Rodon, who I'm sure will be a brilliant player, but he's, again, another future player. And there's been so many examples down the years. I've supported the club for 41 years, so you can imagine the pain I've been through. And so many times with some... the other thing we would often do, as you know, is we'd assemble a great squad and then not buy the final piece of the jigsaw and then let it all go to ruin.
Jason, but that goes back on my point of recruitment. We do go the extra mile. We just misspend it. I'll give you an example. We wanted Bruno Fernandes... 1 second, Mr. K. We didn't spend the money on Bruno Fernandes because we didn't want to pay the extra 10 million. But then, in the same transfer window, we spent that 10 million we could have put to Bruno Fernandes and bought Jack Clark, who hasn't played for us. So the money is there to go the extra mile. We're just misspending it. This is my argument. It's who fucking decides to buy Jack Clark and not get Bruno Fernandes when the money is there. That's the bit I don't get.
I think we got more people popping into here than we should. Right, there we go. We got Will Stewart's in the house. Well,
I think he's allowed to pop in since it's just Jack.
Funny enough, I've got a funny feeling. Yeah,
his name's on the bar.
Will,
yes,
did you miss us?
No, I just came to join the party.
Excellent.
I'm finished with my dinner, and
we're here to partay. Will, do you? I mean, you got an excellent voice.
He does.
I've heard your voice.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What inspired? The last time you sang? When do those moments come often for you? That inspiration to want to sing something.
Early on in my life, it did. I was in my 20s. I was a singer-songwriter, kind of, club.
This is before he became a rocket scientist. Okay, so he's done a lot of things in his life. So this is one of those moments.
So no, I mean, there's a lot of times when I was growing up that music helped me deal with, issues. So from a mental health state, music is a really good outlet.
Yeah.
To relieve those demons, but it's kind of a strong shift in the conversation, isn't it?
Very strong shift. Listen,
what music do you think Daniel Levy listens to?
Death metal.
Money.
Death metal.
Yeah,
money. Head banging. And I have to say, talking of music, and I've just clocked on to what a fantastic supporter of all the channels are doing. I always butcher her name. I'm going to try and get it right again. Aglia. I've realised she's typing it in line by line, but absolutely very, very good. She's doing.
You've been watching, right?
I've been watching it line for line, from Daisy. It's very, very good.
Yeah,
it's very, very good. I have to big her up. I love that girl. I haven't met her, I haven't spoken to her. She's amazing.
This whole music conversation reminded me of Labian Quest. Do you guys know who Labian Quest is?
I thought you said Levy Inquest. That's how fucked I am.
Levy Inquest.
We need one of them.
No.
You guys don't know who Levy Inquest is?
No.
It's from an old British TV show, kind of comedy skit. Just YouTube it sometime. Levy Inquest, Arsenal songwriter. And it's a pretty funny skit.
I thought you were saying labia. I was confused the first time.
But you've just taken it out. Ginty, you've just... Whoa.
Guys, can I interrupt everyone for one moment? Really, what it is, I'll tell you the truth. We have a guest here, Tom, with the microphone and the news. Tom, with your club, you have chants as well about the players. Has anyone in your club started to make like memes about your owners and chairman and so on?
More toward the owners, not really the players or anything. I think it's more the ownership, just because it's the main constructor. You know, it's the businessman it's the main person of the club, really. And you know, Tottenham can envy that with such as Daniel Levy with the shares that he has in the club. But no, I think when we look at this, the major thing was the Super League. That was the thing that, you know, flipped. You know, it wasn't about what club you supported at that point in time. It was about just saving football, really. And these clubs were going to ruin everything. We probably would be sitting here talking about Barcelona versus Tottenham, possibly. Not about, you know, just football in general or the Euros. That would have been completely crushed over a money league because of greed and ownership. And like we said about with owners and stuff, things can get said about clubs, but it's like Stelios and everybody else obviously made the points about recruitment and stuff. You can recruit players as long as you aren't. It's picking the bad apples from the good. And you can always find a good apple.
Yeah.
It's if you're prepared to invest in that apple, because like you said, you found, you know, in Bruno Fernandes at Manchester United, we've picked a good apple from the tree, and we went the extra mile to get the player. Whereas Tottenham had the option to do it. There was no competition in the summer to go and get him. All Manchester United were at that point were just interested. He's an interesting player. We weren't that, you know, needed to go and get him. We had James Maddison as our main target, and then as soon as January came round, it was right, we're going to switch to Fernandes, and then we went and got him, and then pick up, you know, near enough 12 to 18 months, the position that he's taken our club forward.
Yeah,
is a similar thing that he could have probably done at Tottenham, in theory, and he'd be working with better. I think Tottenham have got a better centre forward in Harry Kane that he would be feeding chances to.
I don't think there's anyone that can really kind of. I think it's gone past the point where anyone disagrees with that point anymore. But Tom, the question which coming back to the question which I've asked you is that, you know, the sentiment that your fans, your fellow fans in Man United, you know, they had quite strong feelings towards Woodward.
Mm-hmm.
But what I was saying that, you know, they must have made loads of memes out of them.
Oh yeah.
Was there a lot or just very few?
Oh no, there was a lot. You know,
there was a lot.
When you always find these sort of characters. There's always one of these at every football club. It just depends how big that you can express that out of them, really. And with Ed Woodward, it was always, you know, the puppet sort of meme, should we say, the henchman, should we say, from the major hierarchy, and the puppet's finally been shot down and is going at the end of the year anyway. You know, good riddance and sorry to swear, but fuck him, to be honest with you. I'm glad he's going. And if it comes to the day when Daniel Levy eventually might leave Tottenham, then everybody will be saying the exact same thing as well.
Yeah. Chris. Brian, jump in. Go ahead.
Just a couple of things I want to say. So first of all, Tom, I've heard you on this a few times, and I haven't been able to be on. But Tom, I just want to say, first of all, coming on as a non-Spurs supporter, full credit to you. And secondly, with it, you speak incredibly well about what's going on. And first thing I want to do is just commend you on your brilliant way of speaking and your knowledge of the game. And the second thing I want to talk about, thing that obviously with Man U and the difference between Man U and us is, yes, the Man U fans protested this Super League. Yes, Man U have wanted the Glazers out for ages. I remember the green and white scarves and whatever. Mm-hmm. And they're fully aware of what the true supporters think of them. But what they do, even after these protests, they're going to get Jordan Sancho. They sign a Bruno Fernandes. They sign we go and sign a Jack Clark, like Stel said, or someone that's not very inspired. Man U,
even Stephen Berg.
Exactly. I mean, Chelsea started the protest for this Super League, and you know damn well, Champions League winning or not, that manager is going to have money to spend. Arsenal already talking about signing Ben White for 50 million. Whether that goes through or not, I know this goes back to the whole manager thing. But the thing that annoyed, but whether he's 50 million or not, what I'm getting at is you're talking about the memes and everything that's coming with Daniel Levy and obviously with Woodward.
Yeah.
Man U, whether they listen to the fans or not, they go and spend the money. They didn't get Sancho last season. Obviously, they couldn't find the money wise, and obviously it was the height of COVID, so kind of understandable. But Man U would have had the money if they wanted it. But Man U, after everything that's going on, and I believe the Glazers have even come out and said that we're going to be more transparent, whether they are or not. But they've come out and done it, and the way they silence, I don't think they're ever silenced them, because, like I said, when they had the golden green flags, scarves, and everything, they want them out. But one thing that Man U fans and these other fans can't argue with, like us, is those chairmen will go and spend that money. Whether Manchester United actually needs Sancho as opposed to other positions is by the by, but they will go and sign. They will go and sign the finished article, not some nobody or some lump of coal to try and turn it into a diamond. They're like, we're Man U. Why am I buying a lump of coal? Apart from like that Italian they bought, we need a diamond. Bang, there you go. So that's where you've got these things with Woodward and the memes, and I know he's left or leaving. That's the difference where we are with Levy compared to all the other teams that were with that Super League. You don't see Man City fans going mad, we want those owners out, and you know damn well why.
Well, this is the point, Brian. This hatred that we've got, this feeling, this strong, passionate feeling that we have towards Levy, it feels like the other owners of the clubs have something similar going to them, but we have a unique situation with Levy. It seems different.
Because
they sign players, we sign a golf club, a Levy land, and an art gallery. So
is it in your eyes?
That's it. They win trophies.
Is it in your eyes? And Chris, I wanted you to answer this if possible. Is it in your eyes that it's so blatant what he's doing?
Yeah, it is. To be honest,
that's the reason why we have. It's like he's showing us a load of disdain, which is then provoking us to then, making more memes about him.
Well, look at it like this, Mr. K. Right now, Man United were in the same situation as us. Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, Manchester City. Now they're going to go out and spend a fortune this year. What's Levy going to actually do? He's just going to sit on his checkbook and say, "We can't afford it." That's what he's going to do, and that's where a lot of the issue is. Where now this is why the fans turn on him, and this is where the discontent comes in, because all those other teams that went into the ESL have now turned around and said, you know what, we're going to appease the fans, we're going to sign these players. We're going to show them that we're going to spend the money, even though we didn't go to the ESL. Whereas Daniel Levy's done the exact reverse. And this is where it's all coming from. This is where the anger comes from. This is where the frustration is lying for a lot of Spurs supporters.
But Chris, Liverpool and Leicester City's net spends lower than us. We spend the money, man. We do. We don't spend it wisely. We don't spend it wisely.
Stelios, this is what I'm saying. Look, they signed Bruno Fernandes last year, right? We signed Jedson.
You know what I'm saying?
A lot of money. Do you know what? What I have to talk about when it comes to the Fernandes deal, and this is where we're so screwed up. We, for some reason, had to get Christian Eriksen out before we could spend money. Now, we do this all the time. Like, why we sign players, and they keep saying we buy players for thinking of their resale value. I don't want us buying players. Well, the first thing we think about is how much can we get for selling them. That has got to be the biggest fuck up ever going.
Agreed.
Now the thing is, with the Fernandes deal, we knew Eriksen wanted out. We knew this day was coming, and we needed a replacement. But for some reason, we have to think, do you know what? Let's get rid of, like we did with Dembele. Like we did with Vertonghen. Let's get the player out the door. Let's put another player in a certain position. And when you get someone like Bruno Fernandes up, you've got to take it. Do you know what? If Bruno Fernandes came along and said, you know what, I'm here, maybe Ericsson would have said, you know what, that's a statement signing. Me and him together might just do bits. And it could have enhanced players. And this is where we fundamentally...
Shows no intent.
Exactly.
Same with Grealish. We had our chance with Grealish, never took that. And now look, 100 million plus probably to Man City. What would he have done for us at the time that we lost Ericsson?
Well, it's saying
20 million to
slotted him
25
perfectly,
million.
wouldn't he?
He's saying
Jason, guys, look at the statement below from Mr. Edwardson. He says, just a shame there was no Tottenham players besides Harry Kane playing today. Now, I remember not too long ago, it seemed to me that literally half the team was made of Spurs players.
Yeah.
Right? Now, if this is not a sign of how our club has fallen, I'll give you an example. Our club has traditionally been buying players that play for the national side of whatever country they come from.
Yeah,
okay?
definitely.
So we can turn around and we can say Sissoko's terrible, blah, 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 but he's going to play for France in the Euros like he did today.
He was shit, though. Sissoko was shit.
We also...
His shot is still orbiting Earth.
But
it's going out there. Elon Musk's car is going to catch it.
But also,
my
as you're
point is this.
saying, no, man. No, but like, there's 2 ex-Spurs players in that team compared to just the one. We're out.
That's right.
There's more ex-Spurs players in that team.
My point was that we're in this country and we've got internationals from France and from wherever they're from, Ivory Coast and so forth. From Belgium, from Holland, wherever they're from, we've got players in our team that are nationals that play for the national side. But when you look at our English players and supposedly homegrown players, we've got one player.
One standout.
Just the one. Yeah. And this is and we've got this rules in this country where you're limited to how many foreign players you can have. Mm-hmm. And so therefore, technically, you're meant to have more English players, and that's meant to be your strength. So currently, right now, this club is showing me we have no strength.
Yeah.
And you
not as a core.
That's
also...
But Mr. K, the English quota is the minority of the players in your squad. So you can do what Chelsea does and not have many English players that you play regularly. Just you're just buying English players to meet quotas, not because you're going to play them week in, week out.
Doesn't it also show, though, like, you know, if we've got this world-class training facility in the academy and all this stuff, that we should be having a lot of Spurs players.
But maybe this year for the Euros, I guess.
If you go to the academy, there's overseas players in there as well. Like there's French kids, there's Algerian kids, there's Moroccan kids, there's Spanish. They've got overseas players in there as well.
But they considered homegrown after that, right? If they come up through the ranks.
Yeah, 3 years.
There's a lot of Irish kids and Welsh kids and Scottish kids in there as well.
Yeah. What you've got to look at as well with this question, and it's not, I'm not just to speak about England. At the World Cup in Russia, I can't remember if it was the quarterfinal or semi-finals, but Tottenham held the record for having the most players from their club in the whether it's the last 8 or the last 4 that have ever been there. And if you look at it, I think there were 16 players that were in the quarters or the semis at Russia.
Yeah.
Now there's not even a half of that have actually been picked.
Yeah.
For the Euros. Now obviously some players like Jan Vertonghen who is there but have got older or met. But that's the point. This is where we've gone from that peak. The peak. That's what I was. Bloody hell! Why can't I get that word out? The peak Poch era, where we were flooded with international talent.
Yeah.
Like the demise of the club, the international players. We've just literally. It all correlates with the downturn of where we are. We were flooded with internationals. We could attract internationals.
Mm-hmm. I think too that this is a myth, right? Like the number of foreign players that Tottenham has is only 19. Brighton has 25.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say, sorry if I can. I think also it speaks to what Poch did as well, doesn't it? Because if you think about it, you know, we had Sissoko and Winks playing centre midfield in the Champions League final, which obviously we know was horrendous in the end. But the point is that when you go back, we had Winks, Dele Alli, Trippier, Kane, all in the England side, and Poch had got them playing out of their skins, and as we now realise, playing well beyond their abilities. So yes, I agree with what you're saying, but on the other hand, really, I think it also just says how well Poch did to get people playing as well as they did.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And we didn't realise that until obviously
we realised it. We realised it. The fans.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at where the situation is currently with our non-English quota of nationals, you had Walker on the right back, English national. He went, so we replaced him with another English right back. No, we sold him too.
No,
we sold Kyle. We had a replacement ready and waiting to come in. We said no. He went. Then you look at the left back. You had Rose there. He was playing for England as well at the time. Okay, so we didn't replace him with an English national. We replaced him. Reguilon plays for the national team.
Yeah, well, he does, but he didn't get picked. He didn't get picked for the Euros. He was. When we signed him, he was an international.
Yeah.
But for his end of season,
we spurred him. We spurred him. So, my point here is that it seems to me that the focus
English players are overpriced as well. They're overpriced.
I'll tell you what as well. Thinking about that with the Reguilon thing, if Manchester United is called the Theatre of Dreams, we've got to be the Theatre of Nightmares. If you look at it, Reguilon comes in, doesn't get into the squad. We just literally come to our club and crush them.
Bergwijn as well. Bergwijn, man. He chose Quincy Promise over Bergwijn, man.
Yeah.
A guy who's nearly 30 and plays for Spartak Moscow.
Guys, don't you think it's really funny that if you look at it in terms of concentration, a way of focusing to get our talent to come into the club, this shows me that there's an over-reliance of trying to produce English nationals from your academy.
Yeah.
Okay. Delhi wasn't from our academy, but we brought him in young. So we could include players like that are young that brought in as well. So the concentration is not there. Now, is it a case that the competition to us, like, Aston Villa, Everton, Wolves, that's competition now, apparently. Not Arsenal.
No.
Apparently they can jump over us. All they're going to do is spend 200 million and bang, they've done it. So my point is the focus on
Arsenal going to finish above us next season.
No, but there's no focus on this. There's no emphasis on this.
I'd want to see who the Tottenham manager is first.
Yeah. Levy had a choice. He could have bought an international in Grealish.
Doesn't matter.
By spending £5 million more. So in his book, he's looking at numbers, and he's not even looking at this anymore. And it was totally by chance that Poch had made those players good enough to be playing for the England spot on a regular basis.
Yeah,
Mr. K, what it is as well, I have to say, if I was back home in England, I had a son, and there were scouts looking for him. There's only one club in England I would really want my kid to go to for youth, and it's not Tottenham, it's Southampton. That is what I literally, Tottenham, Stelios has mentioned it loads of times. Yes, we've had players come through, but Harry Kane is like the last big one. All right, right now we've got a few that may come in your Divines, your Scarlets, the Harvey White, Tanganga. Okay, but I wouldn't put Tanganga's come through, but I wouldn't say obviously Kane's level. I mean, our history of it. But if you take a real look at youth in this country, and you literally took a team based on the last 10 years, the team you could put together from Southampton is quite frightening.
Yeah, well, Brian, like you said there, with the England squad, this England squad that we see now is young. It's very, very young. It's filled with youngsters, all this excitement coming into it and everything, where they've not had the experience. Name me one Spurs youngster in that England team. There isn't one.
Exactly.
There isn't one.
I mean, we have to wait for Dane Scarlett. We have to wait for Dane Scarlett to hit form. He's going to be the next one.
Yeah.
I mean, will Skip join him? It's Skip English, right? He is, isn't he?
Even oil money, buy everything in. Yeah. Phil, Man City had Phil Foden,
Look, all money's blood. Look, didn't he? Dale, all money is made from blood, so it doesn't matter which angle.
No, but I'm saying like they're known for like buying in all their players, but they have a young English.
I think if you had a crap foundation, you'd have to spend loads of money buying them in. They didn't have a choice. I mean, the first big signing they did was Robinho, right? and I think they paid way too much for him. And the return on investment was crap. So they made mistakes.
Yeah.
You know, they made mistakes.
But that
but
was still a status signing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was still the sort of signing that made everyone sit up and go, wow, Man City, you know, even if he didn't work, it still put them out there. And I think that's something we've generally never done since Van der Vaart was probably the last big name signing, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh, Van der Vaart. Oh, I think that was the last time we bought a quality player.
Exactly.
Straight in. Your quality, we'll bring you in. Do you think Levy bumped his head into a pillar that day and totally didn't realise what he's doing?
Yeah, I think Henry Redknapp had something to do with it, but yeah.
Right, listen, Bob Spur saying that he would like to jump on, right, yeah, when a slot is free. I'm going to
I've literally, Miss Kate, you've just said that. I'm literally going to have to jump off because I'm starting to feel a bit nauseous from that vaccine. So
No.
The perfect substitution.
Oh.
Yeah.
The
Please
perfect
do so.
On you, Brian.
I'm going to go
Listen,
put
Brian.
myself in a dark room. I will speak to you soon. Guys, thanks for coming
Bring
on.
lots of water, Brian.
I will do. Guys, I'll see you later on.
Hope to
Take
see you
care,
again.
Brian.
Bob, jump in. There's a
Mr.
link
K.
somewhere. Click onto it. Jump in. Telios.
Mr. K, yeah, I just want to quash a myth about football academies.
Go
There's
on.
two types of academy. There's an academy that's main purpose is
Sorry, we can't hear you.
So Ajax, Barcelona, Chelsea have probably, those three clubs have probably got the best academies in world football, right? And they do develop players that go into their first team. Chelsea haven't really just been betting in the players, because what they've been doing is, although they've got a brilliant academy, they've been doing what most clubs do, which is you develop young players to sell on, to then fund the club, to then buy other players or to put into other parts of the business. So Tottenham, for example, when they sold Con Norton for £10 million many years ago, that £10 million could fund the academy for the next 4 years, because an academy costs about £2.5 million a year to run. So an academy is a business within a business, if you know what I mean. And a lot of academy players at Tottenham end up playing in the Championship or Division 1 or below, or they go overseas. Like Marcus Edwards, he went to a Division 2 club in Portugal, and now he's gone to a Division 1 club at the top. So academies aren't there just to develop players into the first team. That's what they were originally set up for.
Yeah.
But it's changed now. The business model's even changed the way academies run. And I think we need to accept that Tottenham Hotspur, even the academy, is more business than what it is to produce young players that will end up playing for Tottenham.
Absolutely.
That's why you only see one top academy player ending up in the first team every kind of 5 to 10 years.
Agreed.
Well, not only that, too, there's a loophole for the homegrown rule, which means that all a player has to do is spend 3 years before the age of 21 in England. They're considered homegrown. So a lot of people are buying foreign players at the age of 18, 19, you know.
100%. The
Are you
rules are
still
there.
saying, no, Stelios, that we're still a selling club? We've got to that level at this point now. We're no longer banging in. We're kind of a selling club at this stage.
Well, that's the thing, though. The same way.
At the age of 18, sorry, mate.
Yeah, go on, Stelios. No, go on, Stelios. Go on.
Listen, guys, while you pause for the moment right now, I'd like to do something very important. Right, Stelios, your internet is really a little bit glitchy. I thought I'd let you know. It's not you personally, just I think it's happened once before, today or maybe the other day. It could be just London. No, you don't have to jump in and out. You can stay where you are. I'm just going to do something very important for notice for the channel itself, right? Yeah, I'd like to bring everyone's attention towards our lovely Patreons. These are the Williams Rangers patrons. These are the people that are contributing on a monthly basis because they believe in the project that is currently at hand, which is letting people and have a voice, have a say, come online. And Williams made this possible for everyone. So these are the Williams Rangers: Spartan 7 Gaming, Wayne Bonner, Mama Coates, Celery Agent, AG, Gaguma, Tony Co, Alex Burlton, and Bob Spur from Bob Spur TV.
I got broads in Atlanta. Just took me in the family. Credit cards and the scammers. Getting the list in the banner. Legacy.
Right, guys, we've got towards that time now where we've done about 2 hours into the show. Our first guest, our main guest, is gone, but we do have an awful lot of panelists which are here. Now, obviously, I myself, I can't stay for too long, but luckily, I have Will Stewart right here, waiting and able to take over the steering wheel. And I have Eugene over there, who's still got his hands on the gear stick. And is there anyone on the brakes? Ginty, you're in charge of the brakes, mate.
Cool.
guys.
Also, too, I just want to say real quick, there are a lot. If you're not able to do a Patreon membership, there are a lot of other ways to support the channel. One of them is to hit the like button. One of them is to subscribe to the channel. The other way is to share the video with your friends, right? Helping the channel grow. Even if you can't help us out financially, just simply subscribing, watching, commenting, liking, all of that is a huge help. So we appreciate all of those things, not just the cash ones. The cash ones are great, but we appreciate all the support for the channel. So.
Brilliant. Listen, honestly, viewers out there, this channel, it wouldn't be a channel without you. Right? Honestly, there's a couple of slots left. When I leave, there'll be a slot left in me as well. Right now, I think the show is just getting towards that stage now where it's going towards the international stage where we've got a lot more viewers currently in the chat and also viewing than we had when we started the show. Believe it or not, that's quite brilliant. William, you know, this whole, it looks like Nuno's coming in.
Which I know Jason's not, but I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it. I've been saying I've been okay with it since April.
Yeah. So, with that, bearing that in mind, if he's coming in right now, like right now, this week.
I mean, actually, in the middle of the show, Romano, right? Well, right in the middle of the show, Fabrizio Romano said that Fabio Paratici arrived in London.
Yeah.
And is holding talks with Nuno Espirito Santo and his representatives. So and that was an hour ago.
He's going to Harrods. He wanted to go buy some chocolates.
Let's hope so.
Well, apparently Fabrizio Romano tweeted that it's not a done deal. He's one of a number of options Spurs are currently speaking to. So you've got one group of people saying, yeah, it's going to be done.
This is Fabrizio Romano.
I think he's just flying in because he starts to...
It's
like listen, I don't believe any of them. You know me. But,
what about your sources? What did they say?
I don't believe anything anymore. No, I get it.
Why should we? Why should we?
No.
Doesn't Paratici's contract start?
I just think Paratici's...
It starts...
That's why it's coming in.
It starts tomorrow. It starts tomorrow. Yeah. It depends where you are in the world. If you're here in the UK, then it starts tomorrow. If you're back there in America or Northern America or Southern America, it's going to be the day after. Okay? Thursday. So basically, in a nutshell, it's happening just in time for him to come into his office, and there's a manager in the preseason that's already doing his job. Because I'm pretty certain that Paratici probably thinks the same way that we do, that he probably doesn't want Ryan Mason doing the preseason. He'd like to give the manager as much chance as possible to mold the team so that they're effective in the first week, the season. I'm going to make a little move out of here.
We're not signing tomorrow.
No, you may be right. This might be another smoke and mirrors.
So anyway,
you know, he might be sitting right now in Turkey.
Anyone tomorrow.
But guys, is there any last questions you'd like to ask me? Jason, I know you would as well. Is there anything you guys would like to ask me before I disappear?
No.
The answer is no. Fantastic. I'm out of it. You guys.
Thanks, Mr. K.
No, can I give my last 2 pence before I disappear?
Just show.
Well, I'm sharing this panel with illustrious guests right now, so I always like to be polite. But the one thing I'd like to share with the audience, if possible, and the viewers out there, and the ones that are watching this afterwards and maybe later, is if you keep thinking too negatively all the time, and you start seeing everything in a negative light, this watching Spurs will hurt you. And we're coming up towards the point now where we need to start refreshing ourselves with a better mindset, or maybe growing a thicker skin. One of the things that I'd like to highlight is how we share with each other the ability to lift each other up. I can't sing, but Anthony could. And I swear to God, when he played, the words, the melody, I loved it. I could listen to it again and again and again. Trust me. They bring a sweetness to my heart. They talk about a subject matter that's dear to my life. But it's put in such an eloquent way. If you're in this situation, for your own mental health, I recommend comedy. I recommend having a laugh. I recommend music. And if that doesn't work, get out there in the park, kick a ball around. Remind yourself when you were a kid what you loved about football so much. And with that,
it's like Anthony Robbins' life coaching. I swear to God, every week he goes on this life coaching moment.
No, but 3 wise men is we have to have a purpose for each other. Look, I'll give you an example. There's therapy being brought towards me by someone like Aaron Dubb.
Release the power within.
Yeah, look, Aaron Dubb, for example, has put 10 euros right here as a super chat. He goes, the 10 is up front, Mr. K. It's going to be Martinez. Basically, he's having a bet with me, but at the same time,
please no.
He's making me feel glad of this relationship. Okay? He's reminding me that we're there for one another. You know, I put time out to come here to actually ask William. For me to come into this shop is the only way for me to do a decent stream. Right? He's seen my previous attempts at this, and they're not been very good. But I will put the effort in because I think all of you guys are worth it. I genuinely do. This is what connects me.
No, your show's good.
There's a lot of times. There's a lot of times when I don't want to come on and stream either, but I feel like I owe it to you guys, so I do it anyway. Well, I mean, like this past Saturday night, dude, I was tired. I didn't want to get on.
I saw that in your face.
Yeah, but I did.
Wait! Was that the one where I started with you?
Yeah,
that's right. I'm like, I swear to God, I'm in that situation right now myself.
That's because he did a 3-hour show with Cody earlier. That's why he's knackered. He's done a 3-hour show already.
Stelios, if I was
I don't mean today. I mean on Saturday.
Stelios, you might want to jump out and jump back in. It might help your video feed. Okay. All right, guys. With that in mind, I'm going to say good night to everybody. I'm going to try to do it without pressing red buttons. Can I press that one that says leave studio? Yes, I can.
That's the one you do. That's the one you're supposed to press.
Eugene, thank you very much for helping me get the show started. I know that you haven't had much chance to put your 2 pence in. Is that because you're not that musically inclined? Maybe. Dale, it's a pleasure. Thank you very much for coming. And Tom, honestly, we need to get your microphone volume up a little bit more when you come in because we're finding it a little bit hard to hear sometimes. But your points are absolutely fantastic. Chris, I need you on every week, mate. Chris's Corner.
Problem.
Chris's Corner. That's what it's going to be called from now on. All right? Stelios.
Hey, Mr. K, one thing. What about the comment about Daniel Levy going to the cash ATM at midnight? Did that one get you, yeah?
Dude, I'm still remembering it today. But yeah, Stelios, it's an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much for coming on the show. Without your knowledge about academies and youth and behind the scenes and coaching, honestly, we would still be wandering around in the dark. And Jason Will.
In the know, ITK1. ITK1.
Oh, by the way,
sources.
By the way, I just tell you now, when you use the moniker TK1 and you write it in the comments, I don't put it on the screen. I don't know why. Hashtag Harris. Right, Jason.
My sauce is ketchup, brown sauce, and
no, I'm testing with you. I'll put it up next time. Jason, honestly, you're the surprise package today. I haven't had you on one of my streams, I think.
I've been on a couple of times, but not much. Yeah, absolutely.
I think you've been on the rant stream, but you haven't been on one of my three Magic Men streams. Guys, viewers, there is something I'd like to say before I disappear. I want you guys to tell me, right, if possible. Dazza, nice little sticker, £5. Viewers, we call our show Three Wise Men, but the format is that we can change the wise men that come on. Anyone could just pop on as a wise man, as long as there's people, and we're talking about the situation with this is Levy and Enoch out, and trying to educate ourselves and inspire each other. Okay? Now, do you think it's rather bad that I call it Three Wise Men when there's women also? I mean, if I had to change the name, what should I change it to?
You should call it. You should call it, instead of three wise men, which comes from Three Wise Men from Bethlehem.
Yeah, that's why I got it from.
Three Wise Men from Tottenham.
Right,
Three Wise Men from Tottenham.
You cut out, mate.
Change it to that.
Please tell us. Tell me again. I didn't hear it.
Three Wise Men from Tottenham.
Oh, wasn't worth it.
Okay. One is still got the word men in there. Right, and I like to bring myself up with the times. Do you think we should call it Three Wise People, or
Therapy.
Three Wise Fans?
No.
Tottenham Therapy.
No.
Or do you think we should create another show, call it Three Wise Women, or the Witches Three?
If there are three wise women, Tottenham fans, who want to hold a show on my channel, contact me at WillStewartTHFCRants@gmail.com and we'll get that done.
Listen,
just for pure
Just a little wink with that, Will. Just a little wink.
Ask Will. I've done a longer goodbye than this one. Trust me. But listen, if you guys can come up with any ideas for some names that would either modify this channel or maybe introduce a new show, please let us know in the comments. And yes, I am way too sensitive.
What about
way too sensitive? I am.
What about life coaching with Mr. K? Life coaching with Mr. K.
We are.
Sports therapy.
Okay. Well, apparently the three wise bullshitters.
Well, to be honest with you, Mr. K,
Cody, wait there. I'm gonna go get some food.
Men,
Oh,
your other wise men aren't as consistently on the show with you. So I would just say you just call it like Mr. K's witching hour. There you go.
Three wise man then.
I think. Look, either way, viewers, I think we're due for a name change of some type. If you guys have got suggestions, please do put it in the comments.
Why?
These guys over here will try to remember it. Anything good, put it into the comments later on if you're watching this video later, and we'll pick it up. We'll have a little discussion about it, and maybe you guys can help us modify and change for the future. And with that being said, good night all. Keep it Tottenham.
Oh,
come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Oh.
Yeah, but he's a nice guy. Great dude. Love Mr. K.
Yeah, love him.
Anything else we want to chitter chatter about? Do we want to go into the Nuno thing, or do we want to go into something else, or?
Like what's
Right, well,
How much?
right, when it's 1:10 in the morning here, I'm off to bed. Good night, everybody. Good night, all.
Good night, Chris.
Good night, Chris.
See you later.
Joining us.
Bye.
See you later, Chris.
Yeah. Scandinavia. How
Scandinavia.
How badly they're going to beat the English? You know, it's going to be another Viking invasion, mate.
Oh,
No, I don't think it'll happen. I don't.
Oh, it has to happen, mate. They can't get to the final. I can't take it.
Don't worry, if we do, we'll choke at the end anyway, so I won't worry. You'd probably
I
enjoy
know,
that more.
One Nordic country took you out before the last Euro, Iceland. It'll just take another one, mate.
But wouldn't you love it much
You got
more if we
Denmark,
got to the
too.
final then lost?
No, because there's a chance you might win. If you get to, don't even want that.
We got Denmark in the semi.
guys,
I want Denmark. That's true,
I think with the lesser Spurs players in the England team now, right? I think we really have a chance.
I want.
Yeah, don't you think so? We had 5 of them in 2018 and we screwed up, right? So
Yeah,
now we
winning
got
mentality
one.
now.
Yeah, now we got one, but we got two ex-players, you see, and our ex-players always win things.
Mate, we had
Very true.
6 players at the Euros, and 3 of them were in Wales. Half of them were in Wales. That just shows you the level we've gone to, man. Honestly.
I can't believe the
good,
Germans
right?
started with Sane, Gnabry, and Gundogan on the bench.
I know.
Yeah,
Sane
I
was awesome.
Yeah.
All left on the bench. Like, same with England.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
We got Mr.
Three.
DP says that
Mount, Grealish, and
Southgate
Foden
Martinez
all on the bench.
final.
It's like,
Loser has to
Southgate
manage.
Martinez final.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
not the winner, the loser.
The loser.
Loser to manage Spurs. Oh gosh.
Fucking hell, let's hope Belgium lose then. If Southgate.
I'm not a big
England
fan
top,
of
I'm out.
England.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, don't blame him. It's coming home.
But what do you think about Belgium, Italy?
That's a shame, mate. I think that was the final for most people.
Italy.
If it was.
Italy, because De
Yeah,
Bruyne got
Italy.
injury.
So let's
De Bruyne
let's
got that
use this
injury,
opportunity. I think we need Stone. We need. So what are we going to talk about on Thursday night? I'm sure we'll have something that'll pop up there
We might
Thursday
have a
night.
manager by then, Will. We might have a manager.
Very good.
You're a funny
Be
guy.
good.
Or Nuno.
Well, Maddie says by Wednesday we're supposed to have a manager, right? So
I was talking about Crystal Palace.
Ah.
I'll tell you what, Vieira.
Crystal Palace.
That's not a
Yeah, they
bad.
got
That's not a
Vieira.
bad appointment. You know, that's not a bad. It's not great.
Really?
But it's not bad.
I was
It's not bad.
surprised that Lampard wasn't put in the conversation there. Really,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought he would have been one of their targets. To be honest,
Listen,
There was talk about it, wasn't there?
Listen,
Who, Tottenham?
No, there was
No,
talk
the
about Lampard
Palace.
Palace quite some time ago.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Do you
But
know
now
the
Gerrard
problem
is
is with
for
Chelsea?
London club.
Chelsea's one of those clubs, right? If you go there and you're not successful and you get sacked, it kind of damages your career quite badly. Look at AVB. It's battered him since then.
Sorry as well.
Spurs.
Sorry,
Mourinho.
Well, Mourinho won some trophies there. No, sorry, won a trophy as well. They were right because he got the Juventus job. Mourinho ended up going to Inter. So if you don't win a trophy at Chelsea and you get sacked, I think it really fucks your career.
Yeah.
Could be that happens.
Whereas if you're a footballer and you come to Tottenham, that fucks your career.
If you just manage Tottenham, period, it ends up doing any
connection.
Then still, you move away and you win something.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
That's the trick. You come to Tottenham, fuck your career up, move away, and then you win something.
It was just such a piss take, man, when at that Europa League final, Etienne Capoue. No, not Etienne. No, Foyce, mate. Etienne Capoue.
Capoue,
played for 6 years at Watford and done nothing and moved, and then he still won a trophy before Spurs had.
Yep.
Oh God.
Painful. Very painful.
This is why, right? This is why I refuse to listen to any Spurs fan who tells me Harry Kane is staying. If you're Harry Kane and you've seen everyone leave and win trophies, the nail in the coffin has got to be Juan Foyth and Etienne. You look at that and you think, right, that's it. I'm out of here. I'm done. That's it. That's the straw that broke the camel's back. See.
8-0 since we last won.
That's
disgusting.
But Nuno, do you think that there's some truth to the fact that the reason the Conte talks might have failed, other than money and number of coaches, could truly be because he already knew that Kane was gone? And let's be honest, Spurs won't announce that yet, and Kane probably doesn't want to announce it until after the tournament. I hope I'm wrong, but I've got a feeling that the deal has already been done.
Oh, he's gone, mate. Yeah, he's gone.
I wouldn't be surprised, mate. I wouldn't be surprised. I think. Do you know what? Part of me thinks, actually, looking back on it in hindsight now, I'm not even sure the Conte thing was even real. You know, part of me thinks that wasn't even real. It was all just for the season tickets, wasn't it? To get us all to. I signed up like a fucking moron, like the idiot I am. No, Conte's coming. Yeah, go on. Here's £800, and then 2 days later. Talks are broken down. And it's like, yeah, of course, the deadline. Deadline's over now.
But don't worry, you can have Fonseca instead of Poch or Conte. Yeah, great.
But my question is this: how is Conte and Nuno different?
Really?
They play different style of football.
Yeah. Do they though?
I think one's a winner.
Conte's
a winner.
Let me extrapolate this out and let you know my reasonings why.
Okay.
When Nuno managed Wolves in the Championship, goal differential of 43, dang near 100 points, almost 10 points clear of the next of the second place player, right? Because the team was of a quality that allowed him to play that way. Now coming into the Premier League with that same squad, you can't play that way, correct?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have Conte, who's managing world superstars, top sides, but tactically is very, very similar to Nuno, he's able to play more attacking, more expansive football and do those same types of things at the top level because of the squad that he was managing. Is Nuno just a simple a person of circumstance? Because, finished second in Porto, finished fourth in Valencia, blew away the championship in his first year in the league from a team that was mid-table before that.
Well, also Conte did wonders before he got those jobs. That's why he got those top jobs, mate. And also, if you look at their two records, Nuno's has got a padded stats, right, with Wolves, because they walked that league coming in when he first came there, and his record with them is 47% win record, and Conte's get nearly 70%, mate.
And Jinty, don't forget the money they had, the money they invested, as you say, in Wolves meant that, I know what you're saying, Will, but there was such a huge gap. You had Jota and people playing in the Championship.
Jimenez, Neves, Moutinho.
It's just not even a fair game.
Right, but that's what I'm saying, right? But still, that team in the Premier League isn't the same level of class that Coutinho was managing. What lower side did Coutinho bring in without any investment and do wonders with?
Who's that?
I can't remember.
Conte.
Say that again, Will.
What team did he come into that didn't have world-class players and that he didn't spend money in with and did wonders for?
can remember it. I'll get it for you.
You'd have to be going back really early in his career, probably, because obviously he's always got the big opportunities
Right,
over the last 2 years.
For Juventus.
Yeah.
I think Inter Milan he done a good job. Inter Milan he done a
Senna.
good job because
Senna
he
was doing well.
only bought two.
Was he
players.
the national team coach before? Italy?
He brought through, but before he went to Juventus, he brought through Siena from like relegation, and then they got completely. He had to build them all, start up again, and he made them immediately go to promotion again to Serie A. And he was doing well.
That's what I'm saying. I don't understand. Like,
Guys, do you know what it is for
anytime Nuno's had a team that is been competitive in the league, his attacking statistics are very high. His statistics with Puerto were very high. They finished second in the league, just 4 points back behind Benfica that season. Valencia was a mid-table team. First time they reached top four again since rejoining the La Liga.
Didn't he also
finished 12th the year after he left?
Will.
Yeah.
Well, do you know what I think is right? For me, it's a personality trait, okay? I'll try and explain this without coming across confusing. When you look at Conte, Alex Ferguson, Pep, Klopp, I'm just trying to think of all the managers that Tuchel, they've got fire, and they can be controversial, and they can get angry with a journalist, and they will do a board like a press mass conference where when they're fucked off, they're fucked off. At the same time, they can be class, they can be in control, and they can just ooze class. I think there's a personality trait with those managers that are at that elite level, and then the managers below that, I kind of find are a bit too nice. Like, I always found Poch a little bit too nice in certain occasions. A bit like Nuno. I find Nuno sometimes a bit too nice. I'm not saying you shouldn't be nice, but in a highly competitive, ruthless industry, which is football, you've got to have a bit of cutthroat, a bit of ruthlessness. And I just find that with those elite managers,
Klopp?
that ruthlessness will give them that. It will give them that extra edge in certain games, and it will give them that extra edge with the chairman. Like, they've got no issue. I don't think Poch ever went toe to toe with Levy, whereas Conte would have. I think Mourinho did, and that's why he got the sack. So I just think Nuno's that level below where he's not a bad manager, but I just don't think he's a winner. Do you understand? At that high level, and Tottenham, whether we like it, whether we believe it or not anymore, we want to be at the high level, right? He has a better
record than Poch did when Poch came to us, right?
Yeah, but Poch won nothing.
Right. I know, that's what I'm saying. And he finished lower with Southampton, finishing 8th.
That's what I mean. I think Nuno's like we're taking a punt that he might be another Poch. But the thing is,
I'm not even saying that he's another Poch. I think that he's a good stopgap manager. I think he's, we're only talking 2 years to 18 months. I think 18 months is probably the distance.
Why do we want to stop that?
I'd rather because freaking Ryan Mason is the only other option, and I refuse to do that.
So whatever we do,
why do you want?
I would rather grind my feet off in a wood chipper.
Why would you want to stop?
That'd be more entertaining to watch actually than last season or a season under
What's the
Nuno.
Band-Aid off, mate?
It'd be less painful.
While Tottenham do a stopgap, I'll tell you what's going to happen. If we do a stopgap, Leicester will pull away even more. The current top four will pull away even more. Arsenal will finish above us. West Ham will stay above us. Everton will go past us. Aston Villa will go past. Before you know it, we're a mid-table team because we want to do a stopgap.
We already aren't.
And then we lose Son and Ndombele. We lose all the good players.
Yep, absolutely.
So I don't think we can
bringing in Graham Potter isn't going to change that.
What's the point of building that stadium if we're going to have a stopgap? I don't understand. I don't get it.
I think Potter's more long-term, definitely.
I agree with you. Conte was my first choice, right? I was on every channel saying that at the time. Happy, right? Mocking people who laughed at Jose and was like, look, if you didn't like Jose, Conte is not going to be much different, right? But I was excited for having Conte in. I think Conte would be a great selection. I think bringing Pochettino back at some point in time after he's a little bit more polished and a little more confident would be a great selection. I think, bringing in Jurgen Klopp at some point in time would be a great selection. I think people like that would be great selection. But out of all of the other ones, right, I think Nuno is a more accomplished manager than Fonseca. I think Nuno is a more accomplished manager than Graham Potter. I think Nuno is a more accomplished manager than Martinez.
Tell me what a stopgap.
No, not that Fonseca, mate.
What does a
Fonseca was
stopgap
better.
look like?
But with Levy there,
accomplished.
You can't bring in a manager with a fire.
He won more, mate. He won loads. Fox, Nuno's not won anything.
In Ukraine.
But he won also in Braga. He won in Braga as well, man.
Personally,
and he also
I would,
that team needs that Roma needs a massive rebuild, and we finished in the exact same position as Tottenham, mate, and they had much better players. Look at Spinazzola, mate. Look at the players that he was developed, mate, in the Italy team right now. That's a Fonseca player.
Yeah. I would think that Nuno, if it was me personally, I would go with Nuno over Fonseca just because he's proven Premier League. But I'd still go Potter over Nuno because I think he's more of a long-term manager as well, and I just think he plays much better football. Well, Jason, I think what he's done at Brighton has been incredible, to be quite frank with you. You know, Jason, if you watch him play.
What has Nuno proven in the Premier League? What has he actually proven?
Well, you know, you've got to have the players, and I think for what he has had, I think he's done exceptionally well, and he's got the best out of players like Lamptey, and he's really got to tune out some other players, Basuma and people like this. Don't get me wrong, again, going back to what we're saying, I'm not saying I want him over so many other managers. I wanted Ten Hag, really. I think he would have been a really good appointment, really for the philosophy of Ajax, and the fact that I think he would have been the right appointment at the right time. Yeah. We know about Conte and Poch, so you're always looking down the levels. But when you start to look down the levels, I spent a lot of time when it looked like we were going to get Potter, learning all about the guy, as we all do on YouTube. And I actually saw a lot more that encouraged me about him, and a little bit of Fonseca as well. I think we all did that. We all went and had a look at that. But I just think Potter's got the edge over Fonseca only because he's got good Premier League experience now, and I just think that perhaps that gives him the edge. And as for Nuno, I think he's had plenty of time to prove himself, and I think people keep saying that Wolves weren't that great a side even in the Premier League, but their starting 11 was actually a pretty good team, and as you probably recall, he generally only used those 11 players. He used hardly any of the substitutes very often. So unlike Spurs, where we, especially last season, used everyone, constantly chopped and changed defence, etc., you know, we didn't have that. They didn't have that situation at Wolves. So they had stability, and then as soon as players started getting injured and they lost a couple of quality players.
Let me ask you a question.
Real Nuno.
Let me ask you a question. Whether we got Fonseca, Nuno, or Potter, do any of those three, any of them, honestly now, everyone can answer this, do any of those three get top four? Because if we don't get top four, it's pointless.
No.
I think Nuno can get top four.
Ahead of who?
For me, none of them.
Ahead of who? Tuchel? Klopp? Ollie? Brendan?
Ahead of Ollie?
Rodgers.
They were second, and they're going to buy Sancho.
Yeah, that's the trouble. They're going to spend.
Yeah, but you have to understand, too, that the Wolves, in the 2 seasons, the Wolves had a full team. Yeah. They only dropped, their first season in the Premier League, they only dropped 9 points against the top 6 sides. Right, beating or drawing against most of them. He also, so he knows how to beat the top 6. He knows how to play against them tactically. 2, our squad on paper is far better, even with what the garbage we have now. Not to mention if we were to buy 2 center backs and a right winger, how we could improve our current situation. I think that he is tactically far more aware than any of the other options that we have. And in his first seasons with clubs is usually when he performs his best. He's usually kind of one or 2 year wonder.
So you think Nuno can get top 4? He can get us into the top 4
with the right purchases this summer. If we get 2 new center backs, for instance, the Japanese lad on the right, to play a ball handling center back, another strong central center back, and a right.
No. Still. Well, he gets top 4, right? Why care? It's not like you're going to get, we get top 4. We're going to get loads of money in now. We've got all this money, TV money coming. We can reinvent it back in the squad. Mate, it's going to go, it's Daniel Levy, man. I genuinely feel at this point just ripping the Band-Aid off and just getting an absolute shit manager in. And like, because he's not going to leave until we are absolutely in the mud. So
I think we guaranteed to win with Nuno. I think we're guaranteed to win that EFL Conference League,
right,
over the others.
But that just prolongs Daniel Levy, mate. And I really don't see him. It's like papering over the cracks, man.
No one's paying £3 billion to buy the club.
But like, the more successful,
Levy's going anywhere.
No, but you see, the more successful we are, mate. Like,
the less, the more value it goes up, man. If we keep struggling and struggling, then he's eventually going to have to sell, man, because that just gets worse and worse. And
will he ever sell at a loss? Answer's no. He won't sell a player at a loss, so he certainly
Look, if we were to go
at a loss.
If Daniel Levy were to sell the club tomorrow and we were to drop into the championship tomorrow, I'd be okay.
So
I don't know. I'd be okay
I'll
with it, 100%. If they just immediately relegated us from where we are now to the championship, and as long as Daniel Levy goes, I'd take that. But I don't think I could take a suffering through Ryan Mason for the next 2 years as we travel down the table.
He fucking hates it.
I get
it. But he might get the best out of Winks and Dyer.
I don't care. I don't want to see them either. Right? And this is the thing with Nuno. Nuno has the players he wants to play, and he'll play them week in, week out, even if they're shit, to be honest. But I'd rather see that as long as it's not those players, which it wouldn't be under him, because he doesn't.
But how's he going to get the money to buy players he wants in, mate? Just like
because Daniel Levy. That's what I'm saying. We have. Why are you bringing in Partici if you're not buying anyone, right? Like even that Japanese person is far more consistent than Sanchez is.
I don't know.
On the right.
Yeah, but what league?
Right,
is
you got Rodin, Tanganga.
What league is that Japanese player playing in?
Syria.
Yeah, tell him.
Bologna.
Listen, I don't know much
Extremely
about him.
highly rated.
Is he doing well in Syria, or is he just like not getting much game time? He's kind of on the bench. Like what?
No, he plays week in, week out. Plays week in, week out. He came from, I want to say Aldo Divisi before that. I can't remember exactly, but it's only his first league in Serie A, first season in Serie A. And I've done a lot of research on him in the last 2 days.
He looks. Don't sign him now that you've done all that.
He looks good. I know that's the problem. It's maybe when I actually saw it, I was like, this is going to be one of those things where Daniel Levy wants.
Maybe he's a hidden gem that Paratici's identified from his time in Italy. It might turn out to be a good signing. You never know. I wouldn't knock it until I saw him because I don't.
He's only 20. He's 20. He's big.
So who do you put
thick
next to
for
him
a 20-year-old?
It's a leader. You always need experience. Who?
It reminds me of YP Lee. Do you remember? No one here. You must remember young Pio Lee, left back.
We used to call him. We used to call him ping pong, but then
that's it.
Don't be saying that.
Exactly. That's not good.
No offense to anyone watching, by the way. That's 20 years ago.
Historical. Yeah, you can.
But he's
He was a good player. Lee Young Po.
Really good on the ball.
He was good, wasn't he? And then at the end, they started calling him Why Play Lee because he just lost it a little bit. But he was a good player. Yeah, hard worker.
He was all right.
Very good.
I didn't mind him.
Yeah.
He's very, very hardworking, very quick, very good on the ball. Like I saw him beating people on the dribble, even in the midfield. There was one shot that he had playing right back where he literally cut inside, feinted two players and then put it in top ends on his left. And he's a right-footed player. So he is
Lavinier in the academy. Do you know how good Lavinier is? He's come from the Chelsea academy. Chelsea don't produce shit players. We got him from Chelsea's academy. Maybe Chelsea have got a better player. That's why we got him. Lavinier can play left, right back, and if need be centre back. But he can play either wing back. He's such a good young player, man.
He's massively rated, isn't he? Yeah.
That's the kind of player that needs to be playing for Tottenham now. This Dane Scarlett, Troy Parrott, all this is bullshit. They're too young. They're 17. Give them 2-3 years. And Alfie White's, they're kids, man. They're like
Sirkin,
as in genuinely kids. But Tangangas, Laviniers, what's the other one? Oliver Skip. They're ready. They're ready to have a proper chance. Those three for me, Tanganga, Skip, and Lavinier. They're the three I would bring through next season. Just three at a time.
Where would you play Tanganga?
But still, do you think that the next manager that comes in will give them a chance?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. We can get rid of Dyer, or we can not play him.
That's the sad part. You see, we never give the chance to the upcoming talent that we have.
Ten Hagwood.
But would Nuno give them a chance?
Would try.
Yeah. Why not?
And another one, Malachi Walcott. Malachi Walcott. He's a good player, man. Centre back. But he keeps
Nuno Nuno has his favorite players are the players that do well, and that's who he tries to pick. If you're a young player, he doesn't care about your age. I mean, he's got with that Fabio Savri, he's like 18 years old and he's starting. I mean, granted, Jimenez got injured, but
Fabio had no choice.
Do you know what's fucking annoying about Tottenham? Do you know what's
They spent a lot of money on Fabio, though.
Being a sport,
35 million for 18-year-old.
Do you know the most annoying thing about Tottenham is last season, our biggest problem probably was defence, yeah? Everyone would agree. Defence was a big issue.
Yeah.
The best academy players we've got right now, between the age of 19 to 21, 22, are defensive players. I have no idea why we didn't bring through those players last season because we were crying out for them.
But do you think Stelio,
Ryan
if Poch was
and then
still
they
there,
stopped. It got even worse.
but if Poch was
even
still there,
worse
don't you
after
think
Jose
Stelio
left.
that would have happened?
Say that again?
Sorry. I was just saying, don't you think if, I know we're going back over old ground, but if Poch was still there, they would have got that chance. I think they would have got ahead of Jose. Jose. I think, Poch would have given some of them a chance by now.
Poch stopped playing Dyer a year ago, so Dyer wouldn't even be near this fucking team.
No,
right?
Agreed.
Sanchez, he pretty much dropped him as well. So I think he would have, because we weren't.
I agree.
I think Rodon would have played every week under Poch. I think Rodon would have played every week.
That's what I'm saying, though, is that even under Jose, while Jose doesn't like to play a lot of the youngsters, he was at the end of his stint because he realized that Dyer and Sanchez were so bad. You were seeing Tanganga more. You were seeing Rodon bet more.
Yeah.
You were seeing those players more.
Took him too long
Mason
to
comes
suss it out,
in,
though.
and it all stopped.
Yeah.
All the trash came back into the team, and not only did they come back in the team, but they started week in and week out.
Yeah.
And it infuriated me.
Definitely.
I can't go through another season of watching Harry Winks start
Absolutely.
week in, week out.
Hopefully someone...
While Lucas Moura sits on the bench, while Rodon sits on the bench, while Lo Celso sits on the bench, well, heck, even Lamella, who I despise as much as anyone, sits on the bench. You know what I'm saying? I just
don't like Lamella. You don't like Lamella?
No, I don't like Lamella. He's a one-footed pirate.
I like him, mate. He's a bastard, you know. He just gets in there, gets rough, has a go at them.
You can't fault him, his work rate, and he's got that bit of edge to him, which you need sometimes in games. But the trouble is, this is the first time he's ever stayed fit for any period of time. It's a shame because I do actually rate him. I think he's got that extra something, hasn't he? That people he doesn't know what he's going to do, does he?
Jason, do you know what the problem is with Lamella, right? He'll play against Everton in the FA Cup at Goodison, and he was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. We lost, but he was brilliant. But then he'll play against Leeds United away, and he's fucking atrocious.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
He's the most inconsistent player. You can't. I don't think Tottenham can afford to have inconsistent players. One bad game every 10, 12, okay. But one bad game in every 3, no. All
right, Son's about as inconsistent as I allow.
He's just tired, Will.
Yeah.
He plays every game, man. There's no break for him.
And Højbjerg, Højbjerg.
But even before
he's always been streaky, mate.
Yeah, even before he was a week in, week out starter for the club, he would have his. He's definitely. I wouldn't say he's streaky. He's a confidence player. When he's in form, he's in form. But when he has a bad game, I think it affects him mentally, and he struggles for the next 2 or 3 weeks after that.
Will, that's because the manager, number one, doesn't drop him. And I think the reason the manager doesn't drop him is because there isn't a replacement. So what happens is, it's like Harry Kane. He will always play. He will always play. He will always play because there's no proper competition. So Harry Kane, even if he's in bad form, he will play for Tottenham. And it's just like, you can't do that. No, top teams, elite teams, do not do that. If you're out of form, you get dropped, someone else comes in and they do the job until you get your form back.
But can I tell you why I'm so excited about a 3 at the back system?
And then a squad that's just bang average.
I am so excited about a 3 at the back system because I think it really, if we get in the right center backs for that type of a system, it requires a different type of center back than 2 at the back in a 4-2-3-1 or whatever. On the ball, almost like, your outside backs need to be fullbacks / center backs, which we have great ones at that. We have Tanganga, this Hamiyasu guy. I'm pronouncing his name wrong because I don't have him in front of me. Even I can't believe it. Ben Davies. Ben Davies. horrible at it, by the way. But I mean, if he's gonna play, I'd rather him play on the left side of a back 3 than as a fullback, right? I don't want him to even do that. I'd rather we need replacements. But if we can bring in 2 center backs and a right winger, because Bale's going back to Madrid, right? He's not staying at the club. Our problems in the midfield aren't as bad as they were last season, right? Because you're only having to deal with, you got Sessegnon and Reguilon on the left. You got I don't know if Aurier is leaving this season or not.
Well, sorry to cut you off, mate. This thing that fans keep talking about Sessegnon, I haven't seen anything to suggest to me. I'm convinced Sessegnon comes back and he's going to be a really good player for us.
Have you seen him play for Hoffenheim?
Did you watch him play in Germany?
Yeah, he was inconsistent. He had some good games, some bad games, nothing special.
He was injured.
Yeah. But when he played, he actually did fairly well. But it's what I'm saying. When he's playing in the
league, when he was playing for Fulham in the Championship, he was really good as a left winger, not as a left back. And then when he played for Fulham that season, different league. I'm not convinced by Sessegnon. Look, I could be wrong. I'm just
right, but I'm saying as a backup to Reguilon, as a left wing back, right? Which in a Nuno system, the wing backs aren't defensive at all. They're more attacking.
You'd have Doherty back again.
You probably could get a Doherty as a backup, but I mean, I think even Aurier. I was calling for Aurier to play right wing for us last season. That's how bad we were missing a winger. To be fair with you, I think Aurier, if he stays, I haven't heard that he's officially leaving. I have heard that he wants to leave the club.
He's got to go. Will he has to go? He has to go. Please.
I think he's far not horrible as right wing back. To be honest,
I'd agree with that.
And I think that our problems in the midfield go away because now we have far more depth in the midfield against teams that we know we can beat attacking wise. We can rest Højbjerg in that middle two with Ndombele and Lo Celso while Skip and Højbjerg take a rest. There's more depth in our problem areas than there was in a 4-2-3-1 because that requires us to have 5 competent midfielders.
Well,
Can I?
Go on, Ginty.
Yeah.
And we don't.
So the one glaring problem I have with this 3 at the back, right, and your top is changing adjustment system. We're going to be. So you're talking about having ball playing centre backs, correct? So, ball playing centre backs require that system of playing through all that stuff, right? It looks like we are going to have Ledley King still be the defensive coach. Ledley King, still training, still getting there, but also is from a different era. He wasn't brought up in that system of a ball playing centre back. He was the guy who would go in and get a tackle. So I don't know how that's going to. It just seems like a clash, mate. Personally, like how are we going to? You're going to have to get.
Well, it's up to the manager, right, to set the tactics for the club.
I mean, if he's going to be the defensive coach, so then he's going to be doing a job that he's not that great in, and defensively we were a bit rocky last season with him. And anyway, as he's still trying to learn, so that feels like a big issue. That you've got a manager, you've got a defensive coach that's going to try to play a system that he's never really played in.
That's something that Paratici and Nuno would have to sort out, right?
But it's Levy though. Levy seems to be adamant to keeping him in there. So he supersedes them all. And then, like, the defence, I don't know, man. Do you not feel that Ndombele and Lo Celso are more creative than giving rest to Højbjerg? I would say Højbjerg and Skip are the ones that are going to be resting each other rather than Ndombele.
Yeah.
No. Because the reason why I say that is when you're playing teams that don't have the attacking prowess as other teams, you can play a 3-4-3 can be a very progressive formation depending on who you're putting in that double pivot, right?
Right.
So that's why I'm saying is that, you can adjust the team if you want it to be more pragmatic. You're throwing in Højbjerg and Skip, right, to play next to each other. And if you want it to be more progressive, you're either you can rotate between Højbjerg, Skip, throwing in Ndombele alongside of them, or you can even, like, if we're playing against a Sheffield United type team, say for example, you rock Ndombele and Lo Celso in that double pivot by themselves because both of them can. Lo Celso even more so can play as a little bit of a number 6. You know what I'm saying? So where you don't need that defensive cover, that one of those people in the double pivot just drop into that back line, or to play deeper, or you need more press breaking capabilities. For instance, have Ndombele drop deeper to collect the ball and move it out, because Højbjerg is not that type of a midfielder. He's just not. He's not creative, right?
He's been pretty creative for Denmark.
Amazing. Most creative player in the tournament. Somehow.
Yeah. But like also, you've seen Lo Celso and Ndombele play together, man, and they don't seem to gel at all. So us, them two, just having our only players in the centre, it's a big risk.
They won't last more than 60 minutes.
Do you know what would fix that, mate? Having a pre-season.
Well, I mean, I think Lo Celso needs
a
to
fucking
go.
manager in, mate, who could try and shit. That would
I think Lo Celso can be. He's doing really well for Argentina. This.
That's true.
I do rate Lo Celso and Ndombele, but are they ever going to be fit?
Well, can I address something? Because there's a few people talking about Sessegnon in the comments, and there's one person, Scott M. He says Sessegnon is coming in as a backup. How is he not good enough for that role? I'm not saying he's not good enough. I don't know. I'm talking about being convinced, and I just want to share a story. Right? This is you know, it's what I do. I spoke to the coaches at Spurs, and I asked them about Sessegnon last season. And Tottenham Hotspur, they were scouting Sessegnon when he was 10 years old. Not just him, but his brother. His brother's a footballer too. And they were going to they wanted both of them at Tottenham, but they went to Fulham. Okay. Now, the coaches now aren't 100% happy with Sessegnon's development. And the reason is, each academy's got a philosophy or a way. Tottenham is full-on 1v1 domination. That is Tottenham's ethos. When you've got the ball, can you keep it when you're going at players? And can you keep the ball when the player comes from behind? Can you get out of that situation? So they load you up with all the ammunition and all the ability to keep possession of the ball as an individual. And their thinking is, if you put all these brilliant individuals that can keep the ball together, there's your team, right? That's their philosophy. Agree with it, disagree with it, that's what Tottenham do. So Sessegnon isn't at that level that they would expect their academy player to be at when he's 18, 19. That's why he hasn't cut it at Spurs, right? So I spoke to the guys and I said, so who bought Sessegnon then if you were scouting him 10 years ago? It's the club who bought Sessegnon. This wasn't a managerial buy. The manager never said, I've identified him, go get him. The club had been monitoring him. They must have seen something to say, all right, let's take a chance on him. But
we had that one good season when Fulham got promoted, right? So
okay, maybe that was it. But I know for a fact, coaches at Spurs do not believe that Sessegnon has developed the way he would have done had he come to Spurs at 10 and at 10 years old. And that is where there's a discrepancy as to why Sessegnon isn't playing at this club right now. So whether he learns that and picks it up and develops it quickly, which is going to be hard, that's a different story. That's why I'm saying I'm not convinced. I'm not sure. He might come and this time next year I'll be like, fucking hell, Sessegnon's amazing. He's £80 million, isn't he? Or I could be sitting here saying, do you remember I told you that story that time about the coaches when they're looking at it?
Like I said, I'm just for him in case Reguilon get injured, because there's no one, I don't care who you are, that can say that Reguilon isn't one of the best attacking left wing backs that we've had in a long time. If you take away his defensive responsibilities,
he can't defend. He can't defend.
He can't defend. I mean, he's got energy. He's maybe not be a good defender, but he at least gets back.
Tracks back.
He gets back when he has to get back. He may not do a good job when he's back there.
He puts pressure on the winger. He puts pressure.
Yeah.
But then he reminds me a lot of Walker because, sorry, Will. It's just Walker was a bit like that. At one point, he couldn't defend, but he was fantastic going forward, and then he improved his game. So Reguilon's still young. I think he could improve his defensive side of his game.
Jason, sticking out a little bit too.
I think Walker. Yeah, I was about to say. I think Walker physically he can handle a defensive situation. Whereas Reguilon, how many times do you see Reguilon end up on his ass?
Yeah,
falling on the
floor.
That's why I see when I saw.
But the way he played as a left wing back at Sevilla was phenomenal.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look at that team and the way they played, man. Look at the management.
That's what I'm saying. We need to get that. I was upset that we didn't go in for him.
Well, apparently we did offer a big ludicrous offer, but he said no because he has a brain.
Lopetegui.
Lopetegui,
Lopetegui,
But I
do
mean,
you not feel about that about Rodon, man? Because I noticed that he seems to, despite being a tall player, he get bossed a lot of the times, man, especially his debut.
He's thickening up. He's young too. He's only like 20.
That's what I mean. Do you not feel like he has to bulking up and all, mate? I feel like he has.
And if he bulks up, but I'm saying he's a really good defender too. I was impressed with him. Other than his last match for Wales, I was impressed with his performance in the group stages, and I think that going forward, he's going to be a big part of that three in the back because that's what they play in Wales. Then you bring in the Japanese fellow who plays the three in the back. You bring in one more strong center back who has a little bit more of experience. I think someone that you can rotate.
If it's Nuno, it's Conor Cody, isn't it? He wants Conor
Cody,
Cody.
I don't know. But or whoever that mystery player is that we're going to sign once the manager's announced.
And give Tanganga that chance, as you say. I think he's going to be brilliant.
The right winger, though, is a problem for us right now because Moore can't play on the right wing.
Apparently, it said, I remember seeing a news article talking about how they're really going to push Bergwijn to be in that winger position.
Can't do it.
No. I know.
I would see him as I want to turn him into a right wing back.
Yeah, but that's what the club see. They want
we
him
should
to
buy
be
Dumfries. Dumfries is the right wing back we need.
Definitely.
That should have been the one we bought instead of
Bergwijn. Cheyenne said it last season. He goes, Stel, check out this player. I went and checked him out on the YouTube, and I said, yeah, he looks really good. He goes, mate, why aren't we going in for him? He was only 14 million. Why are we being linked with Max Aarons for 30 million, who's tiny? And I said, I don't know. And then we ended up buying Doherty out of nowhere.
But the way Nuno plays is he relies on his wingers. Sonny is fine on the left. He's perfect, right, for build-up play. Light years over what Neto or Neves was playing in that position, right? Or Jota even, in my opinion.
Is Sonny going to be here next season, by the way? Is he because he's not signing this contract, has he?
He's not signing this contract, but he'll be here. I don't think he'll leave the club. I don't think
Jason, I've been hearing these rumors for 6 months.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, absolutely. And why wouldn't you announce it? You know, it's strange, but as you say, it's been going on for ages.
I heard rumors they didn't want to announce it because they were worried of announcing a big money contract whilst COVID was going on. I'm like, that's just bollocks. What are you talking about?
Maybe
you've announced Levyland
is
and the golf
mystery
course
signing
and the art museum, and you've announced Levyland and everything else. It's like.
But
maybe he'll do it.
2 more years, right?
Yeah. You know what he'll do? He'll appoint Nuno and announce the extension to Son's contract so that people like me aren't as pissed off. Like, oh no, we got Nuno, but at least Son signed a longer contract. Yeah, that could be it.
Jesus, who's that? Someone just said pundit backs Bergwijn to replace Harry Kane at Tottenham. Who's this delusional person?
Who said, what's that? I can't see
exclusive.
it.
No, pundit backs Bergwijn to replace Harry Kane at Tottenham. I was trying to find that news story.
But we could sign 3 players, I think. 3 players, and I think we very good shot at 5th, if not 4th.
With or without Kane, though, Will?
With Kane. Kane's not going anywhere this summer.
Kane's gone, Will. Come on, Will. He's gone.
I don't think he's gone.
Dude,
I don't think Levy's going to let him go.
It's not up to Levy. It's up to Kane.
It's not, unfortunately.
Does anyone here want to see Kane pick up a really horrible injury in the next game?
Yeah.
Not really.
Yeah.
Horrible, isn't it? But I'm thinking that's pretty much.
No, I don't think Daniel Levy's
spending 100 million.
I think we're gonna play with the pissed off Kane next season.
Every single player in the last 10, every single player at Tottenham over the last 20 years who was a top player, as soon as they put that transfer request in, they were gone within a month. All of them.
They don't like the toxic.
Kane, Modric, Walker, sorry, not Kane, Bale, all of them. And if Kane does that, if Kane puts in that transfer request, he will go. You can't keep an unhappy player in the club. It's a disaster.
That's what I'm saying. But we're talking about Daniel Levy here. He will make a disaster. He doesn't care about the disaster. He'll say, I know this is not what you want to hear, but if the price isn't right, same thing he told Christian Eriksen, right?
Yeah.
Christian Eriksen, he told Christian Eriksen that he was going to extend his contract through the extension that they had in the clause if they didn't get at least 20 million pounds.
Look how shit Eriksen became the last season.
I know.
That's why
I know that. I realize that, all of that, right? But what I'm saying is that that's the way it's going to play out. Levy's not going to let him go unless they get 150 million pounds plus a player. City's not going to do that.
Yeah.
What
There's
if
New
what if
City
we
is
got
looking
what
for
if
a
we
different
got
striker
I
already.
think it's. Do you not think it's going to be 150 cash, just straight cash?
Yeah, straight up.
No, he said 150
'cause we're so good at
cash
spending
minimum.
money.
He won't. Levy won't take less than 150 million cash.
What if we
200
get
million total.
120 cash plus one really, really good player?
Laporte.
Okay.
Who's never going to come to us, but Laporte. That would be fantastic.
Something like that, yeah.
Okay. Go on, do it, and then put that money back into another striker. I'd be okay with that.
Paul Anderson put no, he wants Kane to win the Euros. Can he get injured with the last kick of the game then, Paul? That's the question for him.
Mate,
Scoring the winning penalty. He scores the winning penalty.
He scores the winner, didn't he? Yeah.
No, but here,
Also
Jason.
winning penalty
No,
and
not
Chris's
that. Not the
ankle.
Euro thing, right? But like, see how he wants to leave, right? Why would, if you've got to think of like what's best for the Spurs man, surely letting him go rather than keeping him here like some sort of prisoner. And he's going to play. He's not going to want to play really. He's going to do a job. He's not going to be at like that tracking back, that Kane that you saw the first half of the season, man.
Dude,
he's just going to, he's just going to clock in, clock out. And why would you? And that's just going to be detrimental. And then we're going to sell him for less. We're going to sell for less next season. Like, well, we keep him. We can't keep him. We can only keep him for 3 years maximum.
I don't think he would do that. And the only reason I don't think he'll do that is he is a Spurs fan, but I know that doesn't mean a lot anymore. But don't forget, he's got the Greavesy record. That's the one thing that maybe. I mean, if you were Harry Kane, you brought up a Spurs fan, and you're getting that close.
Regardless of what Heather Carey, I would sell Harry if it was me right now. I'd sell him for the 100 mil. If I was Daniel Levy, I'd sell him for the 100 mil in a player.
I would as well.
100 million a player, and I would go out and I'd reinvest that in another striker.
100 million.
If he wants to leave, if he wants to leave, if the player wants to leave, that's what I would do for two reasons. And I would invest that entire 100 million back into one player. One player. I would go out and buy a striker that I can get.
Who would you buy?
Who they will? Who's gonna match anywhere near his scoring record? Think of one striker we could get that would do that. Name anyone.
Nobody. But I would invest as much as I can. Nobody's going to replace Harry Kane's numbers. I would invest as much as I could into that striking position with somebody who, a Yao Felix maybe, or...
Guys, if we sell Kane, the first thing we do is buy a good striker. We're not going to get a quality one. Buy a good striker and then buy a second striker that is good-ish as well.
Cover.
So
right, but...
yeah. And then you have to buy, this is the only way around it, you have to buy midfielders who score
creative
goals.
midfielders, right.
You need you got
goal scoring midfielders.
Score. We do not score from midfield anymore.
Yeah,
we
don't.
Midfielders that score.
100% reliable, and is exactly what I've said in the past. Though is that you got Kane who averages between 20 and 25 goals a season.
Yeah.
Well, if you split that 100 grand plus a player, so that's the center backs we're getting in, we're not having to spend say let's Laporte, right? We don't have to spend that money in the back line. Now we can put more money into the front. If you can get 3 players that average 12 to 18 goals a season, then you've increased your goal scoring count over one player who scores.
Mm-hmm. Would you take this one we're being linked with as a replacement for Kane for £51 million? The Vlahovic, I don't know how you say it. The guy from Fiorentina.
The giant guy?
Yeah, he scored 21 goals last season, man.
He's not bad.
Not bad. Maybe him plus an Ivan Toney, or him and even a Paulo Dybala.
Kessie, mate. I heard Kessie was one of the ones.
Who scored the third goal for Croatia?
Hold him in, doesn't he?
Yeah, but I mean that'd be great to get from Kessie, man.
Yeah, Kessie.
Perisic wasn't playing.
I like him.
Who scored for who?
Croatia.
Perisic.
Perisic wasn't playing today.
31 now,
Perisic,
31.
31, mate. 31,
and he's a right winger, really. Yeah.
Who scored the third goal for Croatia?
That was Perisic, man. He's
You
31.
don't mean what's his name? Schick. You mean Schick, the youngster?
That's the Czech.
No,
that's Czech.
Oh yeah, of course it is. Yeah, Schick. Yeah.
And there's
Czech,
there was there one guy with name starts with a D for Denmark. Plays
Mario Pasalic.
Pasalic. Yeah. Not Perisic. Perisic wasn't playing. He's injured. Oh no, he's suspended.
I'd bring that Pasalic. I thought he was really good.
But you're all forgetting the fact that we're starting to struggle now in the homegrown quota, especially if we really wanted to get rid of Winks and well, not Dyer because he doesn't count as homegrown.
Winks ain't going.
Yeah, you reckon?
I'm stuck with him for life. I'm telling you.
We're not though. We're really not. We only have 19 foreign players in our entire squad.
Oh, if we can get some
Skip and Sessegnon coming back, so that's 2.
Sissoko has to leave, mate. Sissoko, because he's a foreign player.
Sissoko, Lamela.
He's apparently a very big.
Dele Alli has to go. Dele Alli has to go. Sorry, I don't want.
But isn't Sissoko like a big person in that dressing room, and that dressing room's got 2 managers sacked?
Shamu Van Spurs is absolutely grilling me for butchering Palasic's name. Get rid.
Who's that guy for Denmark? That youngster that looks kind of like a Holland type dude. His name starts with a D.
I thought it was Dosberg you were talking about, but that's Holland. Sorry, you said
Denmark.
Mate,
Denmark,
do you know who's a player we should go
Holland.
for? I've been watching him ever since he mentioned it to me. That Norwegian guy that was drunk on Mill's show a couple of weeks ago. Eric Torsvedt's son is a really, really good midfielder, man. He's like really good.
I love Torsvedt.
He said that Eric Torsvedt's son is better than Odegaard, who Arsenal had on. Odegaard. I thought Odegaard was really good, so I started watching Eric Torsvedt's son. He plays for Genk, mate. He's such a good player. We should be going for him, man. It's like
Are you talking about Depay?
No.
Damsgaard's good.
No, Eric Torsvedt's.
I was referring.
Someone put it in the comments there. Yeah, Damsgaard.
The Danish Will was talking about.
Yeah,
you said Dutch. You said Dutch. I thought that's what I was confused.
Oh, sorry, no, Odegaard.
No,
not you. It was Will. He said Dutch or he said or.
I said Denmark.
The homegrown thing, Will. We have to have 4 4 trained at Tottenham for the European competition, the European Conference League, as it is now. So if you lost Winks, and I think
you can have a 29-man squad now, right?
Is it 29 now?
Yeah.
Guys, is homegrown UK or is it English?
Just English, but if they play. Sorry, on you go.
No, you have to. 4 plus 4. So you have to have a total or a minimum. If you're naming a full 25 squad, it used to be 4 of those have to be homegrown at the club. So they have to have been trained at the club between, up to 21 for 3 years, and then you have to have and then another 4, making your 8 would be players trained in England.
But we already have those 4 though. We have Skip,
all right,
Ryan,
Lavernier, Tanganga,
and there's one more too.
Are you going to pay
Serkin count? Dennis Serkin?
You have Harvey White,
he would be under 21 already, so you wouldn't have to name. That's the good thing. You don't have to name the under 21. So Lavernier is not 21 yet. He's 20, I think. I might be wrong there.
You can though if you need to.
Oh yeah, but you don't have to. You're right. So you don't have to fill your squad in total anyway. So you're right. If we are going to really focus on the youth, then you're right. We're sorted. We don't have a problem. But is Nuno going to do that?
But with the pandemic, I thought they opened it up to 29.
You might well be right. I don't know.
Mola just mentioned him. Christian Torsvedt. He's a big Spurs fan. Yeah. Honestly, please watch him on YouTube later on and tell me what you think. Like next time we meet up and stuff on the show. But
definitely, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Anyway, listen, this is a stupid conversation anyway because we're gonna end up with some stupid players. No? We're not gonna get rid of the Deadwood. It's going to be a shambles because we've left it all lastminute.com. Pre-season starts in 2 minutes. The season starts in 3 minutes.
And we haven't got a single player out the door, a single player in the door.
Still, for all you know, we'll be signing Nuno by this evening.
Eugene,
and then, of course, guys, does that unlock Mendes? Does that unlock Mendes and his links? That's the talk, isn't it?
How does Mendes and Levy? How does that even work? How does that work?
There you go. That for me is the biggest shock of all of it.
No, but you have Paratici in between them.
Yeah. Stop them fighting. Yeah, but Levy's still got to part with the money for the agent fees, and wow, Mendes
26. It's 26 for Europa League. Sorry, not 29, 26.
Right, okay.
12 substitutes. and 25 for the Prem. But the Prem has least restrictive rules.
Prem's not a
than
problem.
England.
That's not a problem. It's only European, and we ain't got to worry about that at the moment.
To be fair,
for the Conference League, it's 26. It's 26 players.
This
so
Outdoor Agricultural Workers Cup, aka farmer.
It's where you're going to want to play the youngsters anyway, right?
We shouldn't play any first teamers in that competition until we get to the quarterfinals.
And then we don't fucking win it, mate. The one chance that I win a trophy, man. You're like,
You
put the youth out there and they fluff it up, man.
No, I think you go with the
You just
50.
know, man.
You
You
go
just
with the
know.
hybrid squad. Your spine could be, older players, whereas your peripheral players, will get more of a shot.
We
your
give Winks a
attackers
game.
maybe.
Yeah, we need to win something. We
We can play Winks Dyer.
No Winks. I don't want Winks. I want Winks to play on the
Winks,
U20. I
Dyer,
want us to do
Sanchez.
to Winks what we did to Danny Rose.
Yeah.
Put that message up from Aglaé.
Ellie.
Do you know what? She's Greek and I can't pronounce her name.
Ellie.
Let's call her Ellie.
Just call her Ellie.
Aglia
I can pronounce
Kuratos
the
is how you say
surname,
it.
Kaguratos, but it's the first
Aglia.
name. Aglia.
We're just all
You know, in Greek, that means
Watch
crying.
Christian Talsford
means-
live.
Call her Ellie.
Fabulous.
It means
what?
Technically.
I'm not
Right.
surprised in a
It
Spurs
means
fan.
crying.
crying.
Glea means crying. But all right.
She was born a Spurs fan. Is that what you're saying?
Huh?
I'm saying if she's
Yeah.
crying, she's born. She's
Yeah,
a born
exactly.
Spurs fan.
I think she's
Oh,
actually.
Ellie used to
I
play
think-
for Spurs.
Just call me Ellie.
Yeah, she's a
call her
high.
Ellie,
She's a good footballer, wasn't she?
She used to play for Spurs ladies. And,
Cody was going to have her on her show a couple times, but the timing didn't work out.
maybe she can hop
Cody's
on now.
internet issues. He's welcome to.
Pre-season
Why don't you hop on,
allotment.
Ellie?
Brilliant.
You don't have to show the.
Ellie,
Just
if you're
do the-
watching, whereabouts are you based? Are you North London or are you overseas?
Yeah, born and raised London.
Yeah.
On the playgrounds where she spent most of her days.
That's what I say, man.
I bet
He's
you
getting a little
I
chance to
bet
rap.
you I know someone in her family or something.
I'm the first prince of no hair, so I got to.
Oh, how long has that been in your back pocket? Or are you thinking it in the back?
I was called it. Who called me that stuff? I don't even remember.
Bob,
Fresh
wasn't it?
Prince of No.
What's up, Bob?
It was one of the shows. Who called it that?
I was doing a goodbye to everyone. I said plug your channel. I said,
Was it
Will
Stell?
Smith. I said Will
No,
Smith,
it wasn't
plug your
Stell.
channel.
There's somebody in the
It
comments.
was it no Bob that popped out with it?
It might have
after you
been
said Will
Shamu,
Smith?
to be fair. Shamu, was that you?
Shamu,
And then-
celery agent.
And then Will
It might have been
Smith
celery agent, I think.
Yeah.
Fresh Prince with no hair.
and
Fresh Prince, no hair.
Fresh Prince of No Hair.
But
That was the day who called you Will Smith.
Yeah, still.
Stell called me Will Smith.
Yes, Stell called you Will Smith. Yeah. That's how you ended up with your Fresh Prince of No Hair.
Yep. Fresh Prince of no hair. Anyway, guys, we've been rocking 3 hours here, and I have to pee. So,
Yeah.
people, tell us where you can find people. So we got Eugene. You've got a channel. Tell people where they can find you.
Spurs Vision TV. At the moment now, I'm doing mostly Sunday 8 p.m. shows Malaysian time, and usually it's about 1 p.m. GMT. We just bring on introducing new people from Asia, trying to get them to tell us their story about how they fell in love with our club. And if you have time, just hop on, right?
Yeah, and Brian does have the memory of an elephant. He never forgets.
Johnny Einstein.
Oh, it was Johnny Einstein. Yeah,
it was Johnny Einstein. I remember.
Of course, we should have known with a one-liner like that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And Jinty, my friend, tell people where they can find you.
Oh, don't know, but well, you can find me at the You Tell Me Football Podcast. We've got some content coming out with a little gap in there, so there'll be some interviews, some talk about the Euros, talk about Spurs if there's any news. I can't talk about no manager for all of time, but yeah. So yeah, You Tell Me Football Podcast.
All right, that sounds good. And Jason, do you have a channel?
I don't, but I must admit this has given me a taste. I've been thinking about it for some time, so who knows? Yeah. Is there room for one more? That's the question.
Yeah, there's only
There's always room for more.
622.
People, it just depends if people like what you have to say.
True, yeah. Maybe I should agree with you more, Will.
I don't know. I think the reason why our channel is popular is because we don't push that. Like, we're okay with dissenting opinion, and there's a lot of people. Trust me, there's a lot of people in the comments over there that disagree with a lot of the things that I have to say.
Because we do free life coaching.
We do free life coaching, and we talk about food. And
fist fights.
But we don't talk about that.
We talk about everything.
So Ellie she was born in Tottenham. She went to Drayton School. I went to Knoll Park in N22 Wood Green, around the corner from you, Ellie. There you go.
She said agli means wisdom in Greek, but the crying comment made her crack up.
Player. I've never heard of that word. It's new to me.
Wisdom.
I didn't really listen to Greek school. I was too busy trying to sneak out and play football in the park across the
look what it's done to you, man. You know?
But I mean, Jason, do you have a Twitter? You Twitter?
I do tweet, but no, I don't really have a handle on there either, I'm afraid. So thanks for the opportunity, but no, I'll definitely jump on here again if I get another chance.
You're always welcome, my friend. Always welcome. And to be honest with you, I find it boring when everyone agrees with me all the time. I like to. I'm an ENTP type personality type, so I like to debate. So I actually like it when there's people that disagree. I think that's why me and this gentleman get along so well. So tell people know where they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me at Tottenham Way with the two Brians and Shy every Monday podcast, the two Brians every Friday, and I just jump on Will's show and Bob Spurs show and everyone's show if I get a chance, and that's it. Feel free to come and listen to me talk. I'm a football coach. I know a thing or two, but sometimes I think I know too much. There you go.
ITK1 as well.
ITK1.
But for people that are watching, I don't think that there's going to be a Good Morning THFC tomorrow. I may, if there is manager news, jump on and do a stream at around 1 p.m. If that happens tomorrow, unfortunately, I have business meetings at the prime time, so I won't be able to do that. So we'll leave that to Stel, because that's his forte. And then, but I will probably do one at around 6 p.m. UK time, just to get in there before, so I don't miss out on the fun altogether. But we will be doing. We have 2 shows on Thursday. Why? Oh, that's right. I'm in the 3 Wise Men. That's why. I was like, where are all of my pictures? First thing Thursday morning, we will be doing Will Stewart's THFCRants Q&A at 6 p.m. UK time on Thursday. So we'll be able to talk a little bit more about that. And then even more so, our channel will be hosting 9 at 9 this Thursday night at 9 p.m. So make sure that you guys definitely stick around and check that out. Yeah. So that should be a fun show, especially if something happens in the next 2 days. Hopefully it does. Because honestly, I'm really getting tired of talking about nothing to talk about. Which is
you do it so well though, mate. You know?
You know how hard it is to talk about nothing for 3 hours? It's a skill. I'm telling you, it really is. It really is. and that like this, especially this show here where I don't even have any guests on for the first hour, I literally that one's actually a little bit easier because I'm banging off the comments all the time, and those comments can get flying, especially when we average around 110 peak viewers per stream now. So the comment section here goes pretty quick. We usually get about 500-600 comments, but that's because all of our followers are so thank you, Aaron. You're always more than generous to the channel, and we appreciate your patronage all the time. But man, you know what? It's been a great time following around and chatting with you guys. Thank you again to Eugene, Ginty, Jason, and Stel for watching this show. And this is the 3 Wise Men that ended an hour ago, but there were so many people hanging out and to have fun that we figured we'd just keep it going. So, and I had fun this last hour as well. So. Pulling a double shift today, I guess, for myself, but everybody else, thank you very much. Stay strong, stay Spurs, and we'll see you next time.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Let's go now.
See you, folks. Have a great one.